Alrighty guys, welcome on in. How we all doing? Welcome to the 6 out of 10 Not Bad podcast with myself and the wonderful Squall Mother. And today we've got two lovely guests, so let me bring this music down and let me introduce you to them. We managed to get a hold of two very am I allowed to say that? Yeah, two very special people today. Two very special people today. Let me bring these guys in because I can already see Sam protesting. I don't know why, but I can already see Sam protesting. How are we all doing? So this week, not only am I rejoined by the wonderful Squall Mother, but we also have the lovely Full of Cthulhu, Call of Cthulhu, and the lovely Krishna. How we doing? How's it going, guys? Oh my goodness. I was gonna say two very special people because we've got the absolutely wonderful Tashna with us and the little bit
the present Call of Cthulhu.
But you know, I like being nice.
Oh, no worries. This is like the saddest ambush ever, right? That's what I'm getting here. Right. Oh, I'll come on your podcast. Oh, all right. For 1 second in and it's a piss take. No worries. This is a roast.
Excuse me. Everybody on this podcast is what, English? Oh wait.
You what?
That was a bit.
No, I lost what you said.
Oh,
yeah.
everybody on this podcast who's worth anything is English. Says the guest who we invited. So that's
and what about that is untrue? I mean, you can be like English if you try hard, I'm sure.
Wow. All right, let's get these guys to introduce themselves because apparently I'm a bit worried that the banter's not doing a good enough job. Tash, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, lovely lady.
Okay. Well, obviously I'm English. Normally I have to lead with that in Twitchland. So I am primarily a creative caster. I work a lot with physical pixel art, but we do all sorts. I'm actually branching out into cosplay. So yeah, I'm kind of scared.
Or her right arm, but left on the screen. Look at it.
What?
Look at the thing behind you. Things like.
I don't know if you can see on the thing. I'll show you. Yeah. So cool things that you iron because I'm terrible at ironing. So I eat a lot of snacks. I drink a lot of tea, and I iron shit. So that's my job.
Awesome news. Cool. And I suppose Adam, you'd better talk a little bit about. No, to be fair, Call of Cthulhu is one of my absolute favorite broadcasters of all time ever. I take the piss, but he's absolutely wonderful. I want to be just like him when I grow up. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
You don't want to be just like me. It sucks at this end. Yeah, Call of Cthulhu on Twitch, horror streaming, Darkest Dungeon, tiny pixels insulting, all that.
And horrendous gifts.
Oh.
The gifts are only horrendous if you're actually a pussy.
Yeah, no, there's only one gift that's particularly bad.
Yeah, like the rest of them are okay. It's only the eye thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to see this.
No.
You don't.
No, there's one. No? They're normally pretty okay, but there's one.
They're usually like middle of the road. There's nothing stressful.
I want to find it.
What's the one that I don't like? It's somebody taking a razor blade to the underneath of somebody's eyeball.
There's a whole bunch of them, but it's Le Chien and the that you don't like.
Yeah, that I'm not particularly fond of. But the rest of them are all right. They're just standard horror. There's nothing wrong with horror in the slightest. That's fine. Oh god. Talking of horrors, how was E3, Sam?
To sum it up in a sound.
Perfect. Yes.
Just hordes of the horrible touristy people getting in the way of meetings and appointments and navigating anywhere ever, and security guards that didn't give a shit about anything. They could not care less if they tried. Scary. No badge, come on in. Got a bag full of bombs, come on in. No worries. That just horrendous. Like oh
god. So maybe we won't regale chat with wonderful stories of how lovely America is, and we'll wait till.
I'm going to mention a game that was really nice that I saw there, which kind of made me go, ooh.
I'm super excited because it was one of my takeaways as well from watching it from home. So I'm kind of excited.
Also,
right.
Adam, were you there as well? Because like you were at the partner mixer thing. Did you actually do the actual?
No,
E3?
what I did was instead of going to E3, I just flew into LA, went to the partner mixer, and then I just came home. I thought about going to the massive like convention for video games that was happening at the same time, but I was like, nah, fuck it. I'll just fly in at 4 p.m. on like the Wednesday, go to the partner mixer, and then leave.
Yeah,
I was.
Sounds good.
To be fair,
I
I
don't-
never know when people say things like that. I never know whether they're kidding or not because I know
Yeah.
people like spamfish.
Oh, hold on, I'll get a sign. Hang on.
Like
I was like,
no, but
this could be true.
people like spamfish fly out, do mixes, and then fly back again, and I'm like, but there was a okay, never mind.
I need a pen so I can write the word sarcasm on a bit of paper.
Oh, perfect.
That would
yes,
be good.
That would be helpful. I feel like there's a
Yes.
language barrier. I apologize for my for English
just got-
being my second language. Oh,
No, I agree. Adam needs subtitles. It's fine.
Oh,
Um,
grief. All right. Should we talk about some video games then? Considering
No.
no, we'll just have a partner mixer and then fuck off back home.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. We're just having the schmooze right now, and then that's it. We're done
Yeah,
next
we're
week.
just- yeah. And I guess I haven't got to fly
don't even-
out.
I don't play
have to
games
put
that
on my
often.
pajamas. It's good.
But for those that don't know what we actually do, maybe sometimes, occasionally, we go through the week's worth of gaming news, take out the cool bits, and get rid of the absolute wank that comes along with it. Plus, then we go on and talk about something a little bit deeper and a bit of a wider topic between all of us. And then we basically go, hey, go watch these guys. Because the reason that we get these guests on is because they're people we actually watch and enjoy and are pretty damn cool.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, despite the the insults and the language, these guys are all right. They're okay. They're sweet people. Wow, that face though. Nah, you guys didn't see it, but we forced Adam to be here, like proper gun to head and everything. So he's suffering today. Please,
It was a whole thing, man.
F's in the chat. For Adam's suffering.
F's.
Right, so anyway.
Everyone waits patiently, like, is it gonna
Am I
happen?
teetering on an age gap here? I might be.
This is my memes,
So-
man.
In the similar vein of people dying, a company nearly died by having some really bad price increases on their games? Question mark. I'm out of practice. My segue's close. It'll do. Leave me
Yes.
alone. So Paradox Interactive
Right, yes.
did silly with their prices. So basically, they tried to argue the fact that they're trying to normalize prices across all regions with their games because different areas can afford to pay more, and they're trying to normalize how much money they earn off of their games. And everyone went, no. And they're going to drop their prices back down to where they were before afterwards. Is that not kind of weird though? Because this is even on like some of the historical titles that have been around for like quite a while. They've just gone, fuck it, add an extra tenner on it. That's fine.
The problem was, I mean, it came right around the corner from a Steam sale. And that was a lot of people's problem with it, was that all these prices had been hiked, so that then when they dropped the prices back down to just below what they'd been before.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's 75%, not 66%. Hey, big
Right.
saving.
Right.
I muted by accident.
But let's
Be
just
like,
say, similar
yeah.
to what,
Isn't there a wider issue here though? Not so much the 2K specific fuck up, right? But the whining, crying nature of Steam forums as using reviews as a mechanism of expressing how pissed off they are at the company rather than at the game.
yeah.
Like this
Yeah.
is consistently used on Steam
Yeah.
all the time
And
to say, "Oh, we don't like
It's
what you've done with
yeah.
our game, and now I'm going to downvote your game." And it's like, so what you're saying is you're not reviewing the game at all. You're being a pissy little cunt.
Yep.
And fucking. Okay, well, I failed completely at the language.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was just like, well, that's
tried.
already gone.
You're being a bothersome entity and hopelessly deplorable.
Don't-
and I cannot
don't.
cancel it.
don't start with the language, please. I would rather you say cunt than start using words like that. Like,
Alright.
let's not.
No, I
No,
agree.
but
I feel
there,
like
there seems to be a culture at the moment. of
we've seen it with Darkest
downvoting
Dungeon,
and negative reviewing.
right?
Darkest Dungeon has got to be the best example. Oh, mixed reviews, going to the reviews. The game's too hard. I don't understand how to play the game.
They started
Fucking
changing
wankers.
things, didn't they? After the game had initially been released to the public, and they went, "I don't like the changes that you've made," and so the thing to it. And we're actually going to come back to this because this is a thing that people have employed recently to talk about GTA modding.
Yeah,
so
the
this is
GTA modding, that's another great one.
This is something that we're going to come back to and talk about in a minute because, I mean, it comes back to think of our game is entitled. Are we starting to, as a group,
100%.
feel too entitled?
Starting to? Fuck, yeah.
Then I suppose there's another avenue to this as well, and that is it a case of people feel that this is their only avenue of providing feedback that's heard? And like, I understand that it's a shitty thing to do, like downvoting a game just because I don't like it, or whatever. But then at the same time, there's a lot of unheard voices and a lot of things. Like you can tweet at a publisher for like a million and one days and say that there's
is inherently an issue with like the social media construct here. The idea that you have the right to tweet at a publisher
and
in
that
some
you would
way,
expect the publisher to,
and then they should get right back to you.
Yep.
You know, it's like, what the fuck? When was that the case? 15 years ago, 10 years ago? Oh, I'm going to tweet at Konami because I don't like Downpour. Oh, I bet they'll get right back to me.
I'm going to write this letter.
They'll send me a thing with a box with a Pyramid Head statue just to apologise because I didn't enjoy their game. Fuck you.
Okay.
Consumer.
So
and I get that.
On the flip side, then talking about if tweeting at people isn't the way to go about it, how do you how do you sort of put across your kind of displeasure at a move that a company's made? Do you have a right to do so?
Here's what you do. You take your opinion, you throw it into the void of the Steam forums, and it gets forgotten forever. Because
I was thinking of like downvoting a game just because you're mad at the company is a pissy thing to do. Like I feel like the review should be the game. Shocker. So I feel like having a forum, but also one that is actually vaguely looked at, would be good.
No, the community managers watch the forums. They just don't affect it until it affects game sales, because mixed reviews makes people buy a game less than like positive reviews. And that's the reason that they use the review mechanism, as you were saying, to downvote a game so that the people finally pay attention because it's money related and then the publishers care, right? But at the same time, it's circumnavigating the system and it's utilizing the wrong system to get across your point. Now, if there isn't a position where you can get across your point, again, we come back to are you entitled to? Yeah, you're entitled to have an opinion. Of course you can. You can voice it everywhere on the internet. But you shouldn't be entitled to assume that your opinion is going to make a publishing edifice change their game. You know, I don't. This is like, you know, we go back to the Darkest Dungeon corpse mechanic for Rore that happened during the beta, when everybody lost their shit because a mechanic came in place that would have been in place in the final game and nobody would have known any different. But because it came in the open beta, everybody started crying and whinging because it made the game so much more difficult. It didn't. There are 6 skills to deal with it. It's not hard. Okay. It's literally child's play to deal with, but you know, let's not worry about that. All right, everybody lost their fucking mind, and you know, suddenly they input a thing that allows you to turn off the corpse mechanic. I don't think they'd have put that in without the crying and bleating that occurred.
I don't feel like reviews should direct how the game comes out personally. So I know it's happened quite a lot in alpha and beta testing where they take the reviews and they're like, oh well, let's suddenly change everything because, you know, these people said so. Like, I think there was an issue with the culling where they kept changing it every week, basically, because of reviews.
Yeah, no,
and
they
so
totally
now you
lost
look
their
at
focus, didn't they?
And you look at the culling now, and it's just
not yet.
Yay, open beta's the best.
Well,
keep going for another year.
That I feel completely lost its focus because they were taking on so much community feedback that it warped what their game was initially going to be. And it started out, when I played it first, it was this really almost funny sort of Borderlands style humour to it. And that was marvellous. And then you went into the actual game and that was lost. and then eventually it became sort of
Land Royale now.
nothing. Yeah, and I don't know, but I think I'm a big fan of, but taking Paradox sort of back on this. I'm a big fan of, if you don't like how Paradox operate as a company, don't buy their games. Tell your friends, hey, consider not buying Paradox's games because they do this.
So, like,
And if you are an eloquent enough human being and your friends are good people, they will go, I will consider that opinion. Thank you. You know, it's... surely that's the way to do things rather than just... Paradox are scumbags, here, let me downvote every single one of their games until they put their prices back.
Which is nearly universally wrong, since Paradox have primarily made decent historical simulation games. It's not to say that the games that they've made are shit, but by implication, if you look at the Steam forums, they make bad games and they should be punished for it.
Yeah, no.
And it's like, what?
I mean, you look at the new one that they're working on at
Yes,
the
back.
moment.
You can totally send them of people calling them a cunt. That's fine. You can use that, man. Dear X, you are a cunt. Love Call of Cthulhu. Please give me less money that I don't have to spend of my own on your games, because I know your games are like 9 out of 10 games, like really great games. But I'd like to spend less because I'm really fucking entitled.
Are we on count number like 9 out of questionable amount of font now?
Yeah.
I'm counting. I'm like, I think we're on 4.
I mean, yeah.
That's
British.
I was gonna say, it's one of those days today where poor Sam has only just got back from LA, and I know you were in LA as well. I
For a day,
have,
apparently.
I've worked far too
Just an
hard
evening,
this
man.
week in
Just
the
an
heat.
evening.
I finished working last night. We finished streaming last night at about 5. So I'm all the way out of it. Poor Tash is just kind of sat there going, yes, hello.
I'm just like, can I quietly eat this chocolate orange? Or,
Only if you share it, because chocolate orange is my favourite.
I already ate most of it. Sorry. There's only 2 bits left.
But yeah, yes. Like, that is universally the wrong way to go about it. And I do feel sorry at the moment for poor Paradox, where they've said, okay, we want to even out the playing field pricing wise. We want to make sure that we've got a decent pricing strategy going forward. If that's the case, and it wasn't a grab to get better looking discounts during the Steam sale, then they should be completely entitled to do that.
Yeah, it works
Like,
worldwide as well.
completely.
Like I know people like in Brazil that have bought. They won like a gift card and they bought 5 games, and one of them was a AAA game. But try buy that for 25 quid here, and you'll
Meanwhile,
get like,
over in Australia, you get a gift card and you can have a quarter of a game.
yeah. So I understand it in that way, but I feel like if you're gonna do something like that, you need to do it at the beginning before it comes out, not retroactively.
Yeah.
Lullas, Crusader Kings, Europa, Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah.
All the games that are right above my head and Pixel's head and Tash's head. Not Schoolmaster, because that's the chat.
I'm like
Paradox
offset,
didn't make
so I'm
such a-
trying to.
They're
That's not a
also
game at all.
here.
they're also going to make a really good looking game where you have to build and survive as a colony on Mars, and that looks really good. Go look at that, because that looks like it's going to be super well written, which is nice for that kind of game.
Yeah, Pillars of Eternity, just going to put this out there. A 9 out of 10 isometric RPG got downvoted to 30% approval rate on Steam.
That's
Is that the appropriate thing to
shocking.
do on a game that got kickstarted? Yeah, you're right. Good job, consumers. You're not motherfuckers at all. Solid work. Your voice has been heard. You cunts.
All right.
That was 5. Sorry, 6.
Five.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say for a second, can we just hop on to topic 3 and switch topic 2 and 3 around, because this gives a really nice segue to
We're going to
Hell is topic 3. Oh, yeah, all right.
Leave it at number 3. We'll come back around to it in a really
for
roundabout.
fuck's sake. All right, we'll come.
Go for it.
All right, so yeah, we talked last week about OpenForm and GTA, and the fact that the GTA community have OpenForm as a modding tool, and Take-Two went, nah, you're not allowed that. If it in any way starts to conflict with our online stuff, you can't have it. And then they went, oh, and also here's a cease and desist anyway. The modding community up in arms, naturally. People downvoted the game. Now, this is GTA 5, right? Which so many people enjoy. It's seen so much success all across Twitch. Yeah, Take-Two, not Rockstar.
So the publisher, not the manufacturer.
Yes.
Yeah.
They downvoted the game to a mixed rating, put out a petition with over 50,000 signatures on it. Rockstar then spoke to Take-Two and said, look guys, I don't think this is the route we want to be going down. And for the time being, they're in talks about getting Open4 back online. And as far as I'm aware, it had an update in the last day or so, so that it could all be brought back on. Again, is this, like, I can understand a petition for sure. Petitioning
That's
is
exactly what a petition is for. Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
it's important. I just think it's sad that more people feel the need to destroy a product's reputation before taking measures like that. And the fact that maybe this is why Rockstar have listened, not the petition, but...
Well, I mean, anybody who understands maths knows full well that if you manage to cap a rating down to mixed, to get it back up to positive, requires about 1 million positive reviews. Well done again. You fucked your own game. Good job.
Ouch. Yeah. I'm just going to grab a hoodie.
No, but this is the point, right? Because people who are protesting this are obviously deeply passionate about the game, and you've got to respect the passion, of course, right? You're passionate about your own, but what you're doing is you're fucking your own game. If you love this game, getting it banged down to mixed reviews on Steam dramatically depletes the player base. Now, I know that's what you want because you want the company to take note. But also, if you dramatically deplete your player base in a massively multiplayer fucking online modded thing, then good job. Enjoy the game dying. Have fun with that. Because that's what you're going to do. If you kill the player base, imagine if it happened to like LoL or Dota or Hearthstone or something. Kill the number of people who are actually online playing that game. You'll have trouble getting a game or anybody to talk to in game or play with. Or I've not played multiplayer GTA, but I assume it's something like that.
Yeah, you pop yourself in a lobby with other people, and sometimes the lobbies have a couple of people in, and sometimes the lobbies have far, far too many people for my liking in. Imagine going into every single lobby and there were like 2 people. That's not even enough to like fill a proper race, Yeah.
I mean, again, what this all comes down to is there's the fair side of this, which is there enough of a forum for consumers to make their voices heard in a way that doesn't make them look like pissy little CUNTs, right? Or...
No, sorry, that counts.
That counts?
6!
See you next Tuesday, that counts?
7!
Fucking hell, this is bullshit. You can't even acronymise this. Oh, fuck this noise. All right. No, but there is no... This is the point, okay? Being fair to the whiny outcry, okay? There is no other forum for them to, absolutely get their voice heard in a way that means the company will take note of them. But at the same time, the forum that they're doing harms the game that they love, harms the potentiality for further GTA games, harms the creative flow of the people actually making the games, because I know that it's the publisher who are the ones who took away the mod support, not Rockstar, okay? But you become gun-shy as the manufacturer if you know that any misstep is going to cause 50,000 rabid 14-year-old dickwads to jump all over the Steam reviews and saying, I don't like it. You're going to become gun-shy about doing anything with any guts or visibility.
They're not going to want to put out new content when people are just going to be like, well, if they brought back modding, then we... Like,
it's why I was so pleased when I played Darkest Dungeon that I struggled with it. And I hate struggling with video games, right? But I was really pleased that I struggled with it and it was as hard as it was. Because going through the initial stages, that's stupid. There's a jump in difficulty between like all these regular dungeons, and then you go into the Darkest Dungeon, it's like, well, nope, never mind then, screw this. And it was good to see that it was there. Because despite the outcry, they just kind of carried on with things. And that's because, nice.
This is the sad thing, is the Darkest Dungeon, that is to say Red Hook, said at the outset, your party members will die. They will go insane. This is a game about how you deal with the consequences of this happening. And then everyone's like, but my party members keep on dying. And it's like, oh, come on, man. Seriously? Is that your problem?
What's that game that Rami is? The roguelike shooter.
That narrows it down quite a lot.
Fish Can Roll.
What are you talking about, mad Welsh woman?
My brain's just died. My brain's just died completely. I'll think of it in a minute. But there's a particular game, a roguelike game, and people will refund it after like 10 minutes played, and then write a review being like, "But what Nuclear Throne? There you go. But it's too hard.
Nuclear Throne, one of the better indie games released in the last 10 years.
It's too hard. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I hate that.
But it's not.
Also, in the world of indie games, if you can't get 4 hours out of the game for like $15, possibly you're being overcharged, right? But if you get 30 hours out of the game by not being a pissy little whiner, then see how I managed to sidestep the word cunt there? I did it anyway.
Still count it.
No, but if you can get a decent amount of playability from a game, if you can generate a decent amount of playtime, 30 hours out of a $15 game is a great deal, right? 4 hours may not be a great deal, right? But the reason you didn't get 4 hours out of it was because you died on level 1 6 times and couldn't be bothered to play any again. This is because who here is like 30-ish? None of you, right?
28.
That's all right. You know then. You two are probably a little young for this, but before the internet and before that, there was guides and stuff like that. Things like, fucking Castlevania 2 or whatever.
I remember books.
You'd have been a fetus when Castlevania 2 came out.
What year was that?
Like 1980 something?
Oh,
yeah,
I'm not talking that far back. I'm talking like I had an Amiga and like
yeah. But no, in that time, you played the game and you got on with it because there was I suppose you could say there was no forum for which you could actually express your displeasure. But you didn't even think to express displeasure. You was like, oh, I died. Well, I better try again. I better give it another go. Rather than getting like 10 minutes in and then go, it's too hard. I want my money back. You guys have taken my money for no reason.
Don't play a hard game if you can't be bothered to do it.
Shut
Like,
up.
I'm not going to play Dark Souls because I know I'm going to get really fucking mad.
Play Hello Kitty or something.
But
if you want a game that's simple.
you say that. The guys who made Monkey Island recently made another point-and-click adventure game in that kind of style. They've just had to put a hint system in because people didn't understand the concept of rubbing each thing on each other until something happened.
Oh.
That's the joy of games. Fish and there's a man, maybe. Just
a rubber chicken with a pulley in the middle. Like that's the thing. But people were getting quite upset over the fact that they at some point just wouldn't know what to do next, and you're kind of like.
Well, I played Grim Fandango last year again. Now Grim Fandango is like, oh, nice. All right, I respect that. You've gone way up in estimation.
It's my favourite. It's the game that got me into gaming.
Fantastic.
Like,
it's an amazing game, and there are 6 points of lateral thinking that you can't make the jump in the game without somebody either telling you or rubbing things on things, right? I played it through with, like the packing foam thing. You figure that one out first time out without a whole bunch of fucking running around.
Okay,
then
no,
you're a genius.
But the game hints it to you. Every single solution in that game is hinted to you.
Yeah, of course, they always were. They were always hinted.
Like it's...
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, there are points where you're just like, what am I doing now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now having played it through 50 times. So it's just like I'm walking through the puzzles, and then people are coming into the chat saying, "I bought this game. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do." And it's like, yeah, that's because you've been given way too much by the internet.
Yeah.
Spoon-fed everything.
If you can't find the solution to a puzzle in a game, you go and look it up, and that's okay that you do that. It's not a problem. That's the climate that we're in now. But it makes it very difficult for games developers that want to make a game in the style of Grim Fandango, in the style of Manic Mansion, in the style of Maniac Mansion, in the style of what was that? A Talos Prince was a good example that came out not so recently. It's any game of the walk around and click on things, solving point and click puzzles. They have to almost tone them down rather than making them at the level they want to make them, because they have to make it accessible. But the problem with making a point-and-click accessible is if you take away the puzzle element, then there's no game.
Yeah.
You're just walking.
It's a walking simulator without WASD. Instead, it's click.
Are we talking about DayZ now, or?
Oh no. But like, as a slight aside, Thimbleweed Park, if you like those old sort of games, is wonderful.
Yeah,
Hands
I
down,
like Thimbleweed
wonderful.
Park.
And I'm so glad that the hint system, you don't actually have to use it.
As long as it's a personal thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I just railed at the corpse mechanic, but you got the choice. You don't have to turn them off, and you don't have to use the hint system, and you shouldn't if you don't want that experience.
Yeah.
You know, if you are of the Grim Fandango legion of fans who wants to play the game without having to look up the solution, then you can. It's not like it's forced upon you. The hint system doesn't automatically pop up, right?
But equally, it shouldn't have caused a dive in review scores in order for that to be put in as an option in the first place.
Is that what happened?
with Thimbleweed Park, thankfully...
Because that's worse than anything else we've discussed.
Yeah,
that was the reason.
No. With Thimbleweed Park, thankfully, people were getting confused. So they were like, okay, well, we had this idea for a system. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some time to implement it so that if you want to use it, you can. And what they've done, which is actually really sweet, is throughout the game there are phones and phone books. There's also a hint line. So now you can call the hint line from inside the game.
Like that.
And that's adorable.
That's exactly old school as well, because that's how people figured puzzles out in the past. I like that.
Yeah.
That's premium rate as well. It's like 30 quid a second on those phone lines as well to phone them up. I remember looking at them at the back of Game Guide.
Mom, can I phone to find out the answer to this puzzle? No, you fucking can't. All right.
But yeah, no.
I didn't play difficult things. I played like Spyro. And
Spyro was difficult, man. Some of those later levels were disgusting.
Spyro 2, I did 100%.
That was the little dragon, right?
Yeah, it's a little purple dragon.
What was that face for? I'm 5 years old. When Spyro came out, I was fucking 20. I wasn't playing Spyro. I was getting fucking high.
No, I was getting mad at Spyro. Try 100% Spyro 2.
This is the same look I get, by the way, when people talk about Pokemon.
I
never played Pokemon. I was 19. I was off my tits when Pokemon came out. You fucking little fucking
my best friend
rat.
Matt is a little bit older than I am, and we were going around MCM looking at like Pokemon plushies, and I'm like, Matt, which one is that? And he's like, I don't fucking care. I was playing guitar and like trying to sleep with people.
I like him. I think you should bring him everywhere.
Everybody needs a Matt. Everybody needs him. Oh, he's in chat. Shit. Hi, Matt.
Easy, Matt.
Screw that guy. What?
Never mind. Anyway. But yeah, no.
I feel we've strayed a touch.
Yeah, we have.
From what we were discussing. As much as that was kind of all linked, but like. So, like, what do you think is the solution to that, though? Because a better way of putting the points forward without going, I'm going to review you badly, or like, I guess that's like,
I suppose there's
discussion sort of.
There's two ways to look at it, right? It's either we accept that all gamers have the right to an opinion that every publisher should pay attention to, God damn it. In which case, you need some sort of forum that publishers absolutely pay attention to that isn't the Steam reviews, right? Or we accept that all gamers' opinions have the right to voice the opinion and the right to have their opinion ignored by whatever edifice.
I think that might be a youth thing as well, though, a sort of age thing where I feel a lot of people who are sort of our age or slightly older, for point of reference, I'm 26 this year.
I will take on board slightly older than 26 and take that with both fucking hands. I am slightly older than you.
There you go. So yeah, I'm 26 this year, I think. I haven't got time to work it out. And I'm fully aware that if I tweet at a publisher, they're probably not ever going to get back to me. It's like shouting into a void, right? It's just not going anywhere. If I construct a nice email, somebody might read it. And then they're probably just going to delete it and throw it away because I'm not a prominent figure in this industry, and I'm not hundreds of thousands of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like a lot of people who are younger feel like every time they tweet, they deserve some manner of reply to that.
They do deserve a manner of reply to it.
You understand what I mean.
I know. Yeah, I know.
A positive reply.
You're not, wasn't it, Adam?
Where's that video again? Dear X, you're a cunt. Love Call of Cthulhu.
9. I feel like
I'm gonna use it.
I feel like I've made. I need one of those. I need you to record me one of those. Hello, you're a cunt. Thanks.
Yours with love, Adam
Yeah.
/ Call of Cthulhu.
I feel
That
like
needs to be.
I feel
I'll
like
tell you
I
what.
need
That
one.
needs to be a command on your stream deck for when a troll just pops in the
yes.
chat.
Can I
Just
have
have you
that
pop
for
up
every
the
time
corner.
somebody mentions the word stripper for Paul
Oh, yeah.
streams now? I can
I'll,
press
sort,
the
I'll,
little
I'll
button.
sort you out.
And it
Yeah, I'll
comes
sort you
out
out. No
with just
worries.
you popping up in the corner being like,
You could set it up as a mod-only sound command.
yes.
Yeah.
Magical.
Oh yeah, I'll sort you out. No worries.
We're straying again.
Right.
Let's,
Well,
let's.
No, it's got to be either a legitimate forum whereby the publishers pay attention to it. Okay. If we believe that it is the case that everybody deserves to have their opinion heard, regardless of whether their opinion is valid, because if you set up some sort of modern forum like that, which people have to pay attention to, you're going to get an awful large quantity of people who are like, this game's too hard, as an actual legitimate criticism of a game that's supposed to be hard. And this is the problem, right? If some community manager somewhere has got to pay attention to this, they've got to look down this list and go, this game's too hard, delete. This game's too hard, delete. Until they actually get a legitimate criticism that's something like, this game is mechanically flawed because X.
yeah.
Yeah, balance is off because this item is too strong.
Yeah,
I
some
would suggest-
factor.
It's
Yeah.
the same on it's the
But
same on
because-
Twitch user voice. Like you see the thought process when they introduce new things like Pulse, and people are like, Pulse thoughts it's shit, and you're like, well, that doesn't help. It is, but this is why.
And this inherently is the problem with not just the Steam review system, but if you set up an open forum for community managers to read, then you almost have to have some sort of moderation system in place in the community forum that removes every single jackass, which means there's going to be 3 people in the community forum, which means you're back in the same problem, right?
Yeah.
Because suddenly it looks like there's absolutely no feedback on this subject, because if you disregard all the people that are criticizing this improperly, it's like, where was your skill level of criticism come from? Have you written for magazines? Are you an objective critic? Are you in fact Jim Sterling, or are you some wanky little 11-year-old? You know, that's the problem, right? Because if you don't have any sort of critical background or background in critical thinking, then by definition your opinion should mean less from a critical perspective, not less in general for you. You're entitled to your opinion, everybody is. But if you're going to talk about a game from a critical perspective, you should have some sort of critical background in thinking, whether it be through some education system or some form of writing or something. Otherwise, I am bound to not pay any attention to what you say. Like, why do publishers have to listen to everybody's opinion? Why do they have to listen to the opinion of somebody who has no basis in critical knowledge?
This just reminded me of the Devolver Digital conference at E3. It's literally the same. It's like the live feedback thing. You type a comment and it's immediately in the game, like, which is just them spoofing this entire thing. Like, it actually, I don't know why. Well, I know exactly why it took me so long to suddenly remember that, but like, I just think that the systems being what they are, and they're inherently flawed. The Steam reviews thing is a nice idea with a lot of things on Steam. It's a nice idea in theory, but in reality is kind of a bit of a clusterfuck. But based on the fact that there are imperfect systems in place, I do think that just to save their own arse to some degree, they need to have a sort of at least perceived dialogue transparently going back and forth between publisher and consumer, just to ensure that they don't get the same bullshit happening where their review scores stop. And they shouldn't have to do that necessarily. I mean, there's arguments to and for and against, but like, they need to kind of have that. Like, they need to have that just to ensure that they can survive within the system.
Yeah, they need to have that in the same way that, like, houses need insulating in like countries that have got a really high sun complement. so that the heat doesn't get inside, rather than have it be any sort of decent thing. They need to have that to protect them against twats.
Yeah, because they can basically then use the forum to say, well, we're not changing it, and this is why, instead of, don't inhale chocolate.
Oh, sweetheart.
That is a
Don't
bad thing.
inhale chocolate, you say?
I'm going to pull that down. Even if you just turn around and say, this is why we're keeping it, it'll be better than having all the downvotes and like the reviews saying exactly the same thing, and they can just post it and say, tough shit.
As a thought, because publishers very often run their own forums and things like that to pick apart comments, and would it not be better with a lot of these systems to encourage people to give feedback by directing them kind of to construct their comments through various boxes? So things like, okay, so what feedback do you, how could we improve on this and make that something that people have to respond to, even as like a slight measure, because we all know that there's not any kind of like there's no definitive answer of how to make any of these ways of giving feedback better, right? There's no definitive like, here's what we can do to make it better, because again, you're either limiting your pool, right, or you're letting everybody in. There kind of seems to be no middle.
Well, I mean, no, carry on.
Would it be possible, do you think, to be able to get people to construct their feedback better by pointing them in various directions and making sort of forms rather than just a free form, here you go, put whatever out there?
Well, I mean, the sad reality is that the way to actually solve this problem is to have a legitimate forum that's off Steam or off the Steam reviews page, which you then respond to and make little changes to make it seem like you're paying attention while scrupulously ignoring all the things you don't want to change, so people feel like their voices are being heard in a way that is nearly irrelevant. So basically manipulating your entire game-playing public by doing little changes. So, for example, the mod thing, right? They don't bring back the mod thing. They don't want to bring it back. But a whole bunch of people mentioned about wanting new skins for the player characters or something. But we've put in all these new skins. The sad reality is that the public would applaud them for paying attention to the forums, and they would ignore the major issue.
Yeah, smoke and mirrors, isn't it?
So should you just manipulate the game-playing public? Probably, because they are acting like they deserve to be manipulated.
And a lot of them probably won't understand why or why not various changes can or cannot be implemented, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them just aren't going to understand sort of mechanical balance and things like that.
Yeah. Do you have any idea of the infrastructure we would have to alter in our game to do the thing that you want? That's literally 24 months work.
Just takes 5 minutes. Totally fine. I could do it.
Game dev's easy. I don't understand why these developers need money.
All they do is
super
write in
easy.
some
They can do it from home.
Mate, I drew this out in
Get it from the garage.
I do this knowing that the wonderful Mad Follows games are in the chat, and
I am
and Al sat there
also joking.
and Al sat there going,
yeah, come on, keyboard and mouse support. Come on, can't be that hard, right? Come on.
It's just some letters and some numbers
Just
for coding.
port the game to the Switch already. Jesus Christ. Ports are easy. You fucking pussies. You made your game on keyboard and mouse. Make it on the Switch. What? That'll only take years.
As an offshoot, if we could get Aero on the Switch, that would be really great. I would really like that a lot. Can we please do? So
actually, Pip, as it happens that you mentioned that, I've actually I don't know how to make games, but I personally created the port for Aero on the Switch in about 30 minutes before the cast because it's such a piece of piss. Why didn't the devs make it? Cunts. I don't know, man.
I love how somebody in the chat is like, make Aero run in 4K on my fridge, please. Great job. Great job, Back. Great job.
Right. We've spent a lot of time talking around these 2 points, so I think it's probably time we rolled on to talking about Darkest Dungeon again. Should we? Because we haven't mentioned that.
Are we not going back to Crimson Court?
Yes, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna. Adam, go on.
I need to stretch. Sorry, guys.
What was this story? Isn't the story in this about? Isn't the story in this about how again they're making the curios easier to interact with.
Despite there being a wiki that says, this curio does this, and it does this if you put this item on it.
Yeah, I had a good laugh about that, because they said, you need the wiki open to play the game. I was like, well, yeah, if you've got no fucking memory.
Right?
It's not like it takes that much. You know, oh, you just take a curio, a trinket, and try out on everything. Oh, holy water works on this. I'll remember that one. Won't need the wiki for that anymore. Oh, I am so sick of people downvoting Darkest Dungeon because it's hard.
Can I just draw attention though?
I will come at them like a mighty breeze block.
My super clever joke that I made in the podcast.
The losing the mind joke.
Yeah.
You should put that up.
I'm super proud because that was at 6 a.m. this morning or something stupid like that.
No, the Darkest Dungeon, the story here, as far as I'm aware, and this I heard about a little while ago anyway, was the push to make the curios easier to interact with, rather than to make them damaging. In a lot of cases, they're going to be nerfing, as far as I can tell, the negative responses to the curios or something like that. Based on what I read in the article and what I'm hearing, it's the push to make it easier. But the good thing about Darkest Dungeon is the probability is that they're going to put a checkbox. They'll be like, do you want the curios for pussies or do you want the proper curios method? Right? Yeah. So you'll be able to choose, which is good.
I really want the checkbox now to be labelled curios for pussies, ?
God, I hope they do. I will be so happy. I will never stop laughing. But they won't, because they're, politic.
But just so you have to accept that that's what you're doing. That is what you are, and that is what you're doing by clicking this box.
Yeah. Take on board that you have failed at life the second you open this game.
I remember thinking there's a game, and it's like wimp mode, like lazy mode for normal, and then actual gameplay you should play at. I remember what game it was, though.
I've got no
when you're choosing the difficulty settings.
Playing on games on easy. I have no problem with that. But in a game that is built around being
Darkest Dungeon has an easy mode. It's called Radiant mode. It's designed for 12-year-olds.
But thanks. I was about to start a playthrough of that because I can't do the Darkest Dungeon I can, but no. I have no problem with games putting in easy modes, but in games that are meant to make you worry about pressing things, about using things, make you worry about using items, not using items, what's around the next corner, dear God, what's that thing that's headed towards me? Making it less threatening feels against what the game is designed to do, and that's kind of sad. I feel like watering down the thing that builds the atmosphere best. I
do think that Red Hook are doing the right mechanism for this. If you have to placate to people who want to play the game not as it was intended, because the game is intended to be, as you say, mentally assaulting and threatening and build up atmosphere and horror and levels of fear and indeterminacy, that's fine. If you want to placate to people that don't want that, but they still want to play the RPG element without all the additional psychological factoring, right? Then you build Red Hook do this right, which they basically, you go to the options, you can turn off corpses, you can turn off town events, you can turn off sanity checks, you can turn off everything. Radiant mode means no hunger checks. You can take all of that stuff away and just play the RPG element if you like. But if you want to play it properly, you can still leave it all on. That option is available for you. You're not constrained in that way if you wish to play the game correctly. It's not like they've gone ahead and just nerfed the crap out of the game to achieve this.
It's like Claire did with Don't Starve, where they put in hey, what would you like your world to look like? If you're the sort of person who struggles with farming, you can put in extra berries, extra carrots, all this sort of thing. If you're the sort of person who struggles with those stupid bird things, you can just turn them off. No stupid bird things for you. And I think that's a really nice way of doing it, is to say, okay, tailor it to you.
To be done.
Rather than just, this is easy mode, where we've turned everything off for you. We've decided how best... you should. It's really nice to see them kind of put in all the checkboxes.
This is the assumption of what they're going to do with the curio thing. What they've already said, what they said in your article, and indeed the other article I read, is that they aren't doing anything about it now because God, and you can almost hear the dissatisfaction with the forums in the comments from Red Hook. It's like, well, we didn't do anything now because we had a lot of work going on, you know, like the actual Crimson Court DLC. Like, seriously, can you guys leave us alone for 5 fucking seconds so we can put out a DLC? Then we'll do it. All right. But they'll probably do it in the way that they've done everything else, which is to say, turning on Curio simplistic mode as opposed to Curio correct mode will be a thing. That'll be one of the checkboxes. That's what they did with the Crimson Court DLC, which I was both disappointed and expected to find. The second you load up the Crimson Court, it's like, oh, okay, do you want the Flagellant? All right, do you want the Fanatic? All right, do you want the Crimson Curse? If you turn all that shit off, what the fuck's the point of the Crimson Court? But
At least they've not like nerfed the whole thing, though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They
so-
didn't blitz the thing.
Yeah.
You can turn that stuff off, and that's fine. If you don't want to have the most amazing mini boss in the game, then turn it off. If you don't want the incredible Crimson Curse mechanic that is super awesome and vampire, you know, interweaving into your whole into your whole gameplay because you're a wanker, you can turn it off. Okay, but you can turn all that stuff off. Now, I don't see the point of turning that stuff off. You might as well just play without the DLC.
Can I
Because if
ask
you
then,
take-
yeah, what is left of the DLC if you turn those off?
Just the actual area itself. If you take away the Fanatic, then nobody will come around hunting for your Crimson Curse guys. Crimson Curse is basically vampirism,
Right.
and you won't get the Van Helsing guy wandering around looking for you, trying to kill you. Okay, so that takes away that big fear element if that scares you or whatever, right? If you turn off the Crimson Curse, that means your guys can't be infected. You see those awful people on the screen, they give you the Crimson Curse. If you turn that off, that's gone as well. So all the infection and contagion mechanics in the game are removed. And if you turn off the Flagellant, then you don't get the new character class. But I bet most people leave on the fucking new character class and just turn off the other
everything
bit,
else.
Mhm.
Yeah.
which is literally insane because the Flagellant is designed to fight the other stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like, my God, one is supposed to balance the other. If you take away one, he becomes super overpowered. Are you stupid? But yeah, so that's the story behind this, and it's what we were saying before.
So are you trying to say, like, well, I reckon if people just leave the Flagellant on and turn off all the other stuff, it should just, when you start a new game, just show you a let's play of someone else just going through the game.
You just get to have a picnic. You can go in it.
It'll just cut to a YouTube video where somebody completes the game for you, so you can watch the video.
Oh god.
And that's the cut scene at the end. Job done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But no,
actually, I'm gonna suggest it. I love the idea.
But I do.
Downvote them. They don't take your feedback.
like a pop up that comes right in the fucking middle of the screen. It's like, oh, you obviously don't want to play the game, so here's just somebody else
Not
playing it.
YouTube. Send it to Twitch.
Yeah. Just link to
Like-
my fucking channel. I've
There
finished
you
the game
go.
20 fucking thousand
There you
times.
go.
Come and watch me fucking
No, like,
play.
I agree though
Yeah.
that people should be able to play the way that they want to play, and being
Right.
able to tailor the experience is good. I worry with a game like that yeah, you're not getting as my fellows say, you're not getting the experience that the developers intended. With something like Darkest Dungeon, that's how they build fear and tension. You know these people are looking for you. You know that there are shamblers, like, potentially in the next room if you touch that thing. So, you know, you have
Turn off
to
the
be...
torch, they're potentially in the next room regardless of whether you touch that thing.
Right? So, I feel like you're not getting the right experience out of it, but I do approve of getting people to play the game that they want to play it. I mean, Radiant mode, for example, is going to get... Well, that makes me
No,
want to play
Radiant
it.
mode is a good idea. Okay?
That
Radiant
makes
mode
me want to play it. Because
Radiant
I played
mode
it originally...
dilutes
just-
the systems, but it doesn't destroy them.
Right.
So there are elements of the game that are very difficult if you aren't familiar with the game systems that are toned down in Radiant mode. So something like hunger checks. Now, that does mean that when you start into Darkest mode or whatever, suddenly you're like, what the fuck is this bullshit hunger check? I'm walking around and suddenly my guys are hungry? Why? You know? But it does dilute it, and it is better, especially because there is a steep learning curve for Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah.
There absolutely is. The principle is that by the time you get a decent run going, you should be on about your 10th run. You shouldn't be on run number 1, which is why Radiant mode is not the same. You can get a run going in Radiant mode basically first time out of the gate, because a lot of the elements that make the game, that cause people to, this game too hard, downvote, I lost all my guys because they were all hungry and then they went insane. And I'm just sitting there reading the review going, yes, that is what it is like in, you know, existential horror, you moron. But, you know, that those elements are toned down. They're not removed, though. They're not, it's depleted without destroying the experience. You will still get those feelings of fear. Those sanity checks will still happen. You will still have people who are attacking the minds and the bodies of your party. You will still get the majority of the experience, and you'll get it in a way. And this is what Radiant Mode was really good for, if you're streaming it. Because streaming Darkest Dungeon, if you aren't familiar with it, does mean you're going to be resetting in an 8-hour stream maybe 5 times, right? But Radiant Mode, that means you're probably not going to reset. You'll probably play through your 5-6 hours stream without having to reset, and you're getting the flavor of the game. You know, a lot of people, you know, will say, you know, I want to show off the game, so I'm going to play it on Darkest Mode or Radiant Mode, because you're simply not going to show off the game. You know, when I do the Blood Moon Tortoise runs, people in the stream are used to it by now, but like the first 3 hours is probably going to be me going, nope, resetting this run. Why? Because I lost one guy. You've got 16. Yeah, losing one guy in the first 10 weeks is rubbish. I'm not doing that. You know,
I feel like having the Radiant mode will encourage people to try the harder mode as well.
Precisely.
Instead of just jumping straight in and being like, oh my god, this is so hard. You can try it out and easy, get used to the gameplay. And then maybe if you wanted to play the DLC with the increased difficulty and then go back to the original game and get more content out of it that way.
100%. And also Radiant mode before the DLC. No, you're absolutely right. And you make a really
I don't even know what game it is, but I'm like, this is
you make an absolutely correct point, because the DLC is harder than the base game.
As it should be, right?
As it should be, yes. You know, and every time the Darkest Dungeon have released anything new, it's always been harder than the base game. Take the Cove or the Darkest Dungeon itself. They were always harder than the bits that came before. And the DLC is more difficult. Like, you can't specifically say that you need to be level 2 to deal with the level 1 sections and level 4 to deal with the level 3 sections, but it will certainly fucking help, right? It is more challenging. And because of that, Radiant Mode, as you rightly say, will enable people to feel like they have the skill set to try out Darkest Mode. You know, it's a lie, because they're going to get shredded within like 13 seconds flat. But they will try it. No, absolutely they will.
And in
that is
trial,
important.
you know, they might go on and actually develop the skill set that they need to be able to, you know? And
in all honesty, Darkest Dungeon's entire skill set is the skill set you need for tactical turn-based games. So it's like, if you play chess, you'll be fine in Darkest Dungeon, because you're used to thinking 50 moves ahead and knowing exactly what's going to happen and preparing yourself and, you know, playing the percentages and rationalizing it and so on and so forth. If you're not the kind of person who is interested in working out what is potentially going to happen in this fight, or knowing what the most dangerous enemy is here, because it might not be the one that looks most dangerous. In fact, usually it's not, because Red Hook is shit, right? The most dangerous enemy is almost usually the one that looks weakest.
The little rabbit.
Well, yeah. You know, the small... No, I mean, there is no little rabbit of death.
No, I was
that principle is
Python,
correct.
But...
Oh, yeah. Well, no, precisely, yeah. That kind of concept they like to build in, and so you have to learn, and the principle is learning through repeated failure rather than learning through winning, because you don't learn anything if you just batter your way through the game. Like, I was fighting a boss the other day, one of the new ones in the DLC, and I got a few lucky crits. So I was like, well, that doesn't help me, because these lucky crits aren't something I can rely on in terms of actually beating this without taking any deaths. So that actually makes it worse, because I don't know if this party is principled to deal with this boss at this time. You know, learning through failure is the concept that they're looking for.
Yeah, I'm with you. So, from people that have no grasp on reality to people that have no real grasp on the internet, apparently. Terrible segues here.
It hurts.
So this is a bit of an unusual story for us to throw in. Because I know it's a bit of a wider subject. So this is Mozilla basically putting some hot thriller in order to encourage people to present ideas for how to connect the world up to the internet or widely. Because there's
this
a lot.
Story is cute.
I put this in because I really think this story is adorable. Like,
this story's adorable in its blinkered idiocy.
Like, I love this. Mozilla is offering $2 million to people who manage to solve getting the internet out to sort of, you know, more rural areas and opening up and that kind of thing.
So presumably what Mozilla are hoping is that someone like Comcast is going to put fiber in that connects the entirety of America, and then they're going to give them $2 million for their $70 billion outlay.
Yep.
Is that the principle here?
Or
Either that or some dude with a balloon and a router.
I mean,
you
that could
say
work.
that. You say that. Isn't that how they get mobile reception out to emergency areas?
Well, and to like Africa as well.
Yeah.
They use a lot of like huge weather balloons.
Yeah.
But one of the things, funnily enough, I was talking to a dude from EE when I was having some internet problems a little while ago, which is probably due to the fact that I've got EE from my broadband. But hey, that's another thing altogether.
Oh no.
Now, about what they do for like mobile signal. So let's say there's like a big protest rally or something down in London because Theresa May is a thunder cunt, and we've had enough of her, and we want to shout about.
Other
you know,
politicians are available.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
Apparently not.
No,
Let's be honest.
apparently not at the moment. But, you know.
let's be entirely honest. So basically, during the processes that march, obviously the mobile masts in that area would be like overwhelmed because that's way more people than they're used to handling. So what they do is they just dispatch drones to triangulate around that area. So dispatch 3 to like kind of cover that area with additional signals. So it's like each drone can handle like an extra 15,000 connections or something like that to it, and they kind of triangulate around the area to give that extra coverage, and that's really cool. That's one of those sort of similar space solutions, which obviously a drone is kind of got limited range, limited power, limited uptime, or whatever else.
See, the thing, I suppose, I mean, that's like that sort of blue sky thinking is entirely correct on a single time frame scenario.
Yeah.
But what they seem to be, the thing I think is amazing about this story is that like Mozilla must know that this story is just for their own publicity, because there's no fucking way anybody is going to work out how to deliver internet to ruralized communities that costs less than the money that they're actually going to output.
So the average Joe, it sounds like a good idea, but it also makes me think of, it was a while ago. Have you guys heard of the SpaceX plan? Yeah, it definitely makes me think of that, which I don't think would work. So they should just give it to them?
For me,
give them the $2 million.
For me, there were 3 ways that this was going to go, right? And say, for example, that there was a solution out there that was cheaper than your $2 million, right? Either, as we've said, a big company comes along and goes, hey, we've done it! And the money's nothing to them because they're a gigantic company, right? Or some poor kiddie comes up with this idea and pitches it to them, and this is absolutely the most clever thing that they're ever going to come up with, and this is the thing that they're most proud of.
Internet's Got Talent.
Yeah, this is the thing that they're most proud of in the entire universe, and they managed to find this solution, right? And they get $2 million for it.
Which they could have sold for like 100 billion.
Then lose all rights to it, and Mozilla take it forward and make endless amounts of money with it. Right?
I'm quite cynical, so I'm like not even convinced that they'd give the $2 million anyway.
Oh, I'm sure they would give the $2 million. I would think Mozilla would pay $2 million for that in a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah.
I think they just
because
like,
then they'll sell it to Virgin and Comcast and fucking every internet provider and literally laugh as they build their house out of money.
And the third way that it could go, which is unfortunately the way that we've kind of said that it will go, and it's why I like this story, because it sounds wonderful, but the reality is we're not going to find a solution. So Mozilla have put everywhere, hey look, we're willing to pay money to make the world a better place for internet dwellers. Yeah!
Please use our search engine.
There we go. Yep, there it is. And that's kind of where we're at, where
it's like cheap, lazy manipulation of idiots is the story, unfortunately.
And it's sad because this is such a wonderful sounding story, and it warms my heart to see them actually doing marketing that will work. Hey, they're not going to find a solution, sure, but everybody's going to be going, gosh, aren't Mozilla nice people? And provided that they can put something decent out in the next couple of, they can put another Thunderbird / Firefoxy thing out, people are gonna go, hey, those Mozilla guys are all right. We might give it a go.
I'm certainly going to be switching to Mozilla Firefox right now because I am totally taken in by this transparent motherfucker of a ruse.
Right, but you're not. But the less like intelligent of us in the call, kind of, we might. No, but it's one of
The
those
problem
things
is
where
that this is pernicious, right? Because it looks cute
yeah,
and like a nice idea, and it does look cute. And the problem is it masks the like vile corporate agenda behind Mozilla. That is, please God, use our search engine. We're not going to have to pay this $2 million to everyone. This is free. If we get one dipshit to start using Mozilla instead of like whatever Chrome or something based on this, then it's a win for us because no one is ever going to find a solution that actually delineates this problem. Ergo, well done. You are capitalist cunts because you are not the generous philanthropist that this article would make you out to be. You are literally the worst kind of manipulative shit. Well played, Mozilla.
and it's potentially worse than this little kiddie holding up his balloon and router, going, "Hey, I think I worked it out," and having the 2 million, being so pleased that he has 2 million. And then that technology goes on to sell for billions and billions.
Worse, if anything.
I don't
worse.
know.
That's worse than them having no, because then they're literally shilling someone. Even if they're like it's an adult. Let's be decent about this and say it's a 35-year-old man who's got a job and take us. But no. But this is the point, right? Because it's just as bad, right? It's not made better by the fact that they're ripping off an adult for 2 million, versus ripping off a little kid who's like a genius, Mozart level internet child. Right, we've got some adult who's worked out how to do this, and he's like, "Yeah, here's how you do this." Right, if that adult goes to Mozilla to get his 2 million rather than going to like Virgin to get his like 100 million, I think he deserves to be scammed.
Percentage, not even like fixed price.
Yeah, or
percentage.
absolutely get a percentage of it or whatever. However, it works. It's this article feels dirty. This article feels like what it must be like to be in the same room as Christina Aguilera, sort of circa the song "Dirty," when you could kind of taste the sweat in the air. That kind of feeling. That is the sort of level that we're at with this, because it is the most transparent kind of corporate manipulation. It's not even carefully obfuscated. So that you look at that and you're like, for a second, you're like, "Oh, brilliant! That's a really good idea." Okay, you look at that and you're straight away like, right. So what you're saying is what?
Getting internet to rural areas is a great idea.
It sounds great.
Yeah. That's something that
right now I'm going to give away $10 million if anybody solves world fucking poverty. Go on.
Right.
No problem.
Look at Adam. Let's put him on a pedestal because he's the most wonderful human being ever. He's going to give a whole 10 million to somebody who fixes poverty. Like,
and the sad thing about it is, if anybody actually does fix world poverty and comes to me, I bet I can get a bank loan, because I will then take the fucking solution to every government in the world and get back my bank loan in about 3 seconds flat.
Yep.
Right? That's the tragedy of this scenario, right?
This actually echoes another story that's kind of vaguely similar. So Argos in the UK, which is like, for those who don't know, is like basically a catalogue company, and you can like buy
it's like a warehouse with a
you pick what you want out of the catalog. You go on the internet and you say, "I want this," and then you drive to their warehouse and somebody hands it you over a counter.
Pretty much.
Super good.
So they recently got bought by Sainsbury's, which is like a supermarket. So their Argos turned to their staff and went, "Right, guys, anyone got some cost saving ideas? Because we'd love to hear from you." And this guy turned around and went, well, obviously, if we fill up at Sainsbury's petrol stations for all of our vans, that's going to save loads of money. The same company. Like, we're not going to have to pay the extra money that we would normally pay for a surcharge on the fuel. We'll just fill up from our own people. And he went to like some meetings and he presented the idea and whatever else, and it saved them for like £1.5 million, which is quite a decent bit of money. Yeah, they gave him a £10 gift card. As a thank you for example.
Sounds about right.
Oh no.
It's the same scale.
That's not very nice. Even I got more than that when I stopped some thieves.
It's the same scale. And they were like, "Oh well, we thought of that anyway, but you had the same idea we did, and we were going to do that anyway."
See, that's what I was thinking of Mozilla.
Yeah.
That's
no,
my
it has.
criticism.
Saying about people, I know somebody who broke a leg stopping a thief getting out of a store, and the store bought her a new pair of shoes because she'd also wrecked her shoes.
Right.
Well, they can't buy her a new leg. I mean, be
Oh no,
fair.
she was in America, so she paid all her medical bills and
Oh,
everything,
no.
and they bought her a new pair of shoes.
Blinged out her crutches. There you
Like,
go.
It was
Cheers, friend.
so bad.
fucking
Oh, gosh.
fucking pimped her wheelchair.
Like, so bad.
Guy Monty is all up the side. It was beautiful, I tell you. Beautiful.
God. But yeah, no,
Started hanging out with rappers, got a whole career out of it. Got hooked on
Glue
blow.
gun, I could do that.
She's dead
I
now.
could do that for cheap. Could do that.
Oh god. But yeah, no, I figured I'd include that because, as I say, it's such a nice looking story and it's a heartwarming thing. Mozilla want desperately to have everybody to have internet, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
That is exactly what Mozilla want. That is
Yeah.
precisely what that article is intending Mozilla to get.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody to have internet, provided they use fucking Firefox. Otherwise, they couldn't give a shit if you have internet.
Locked in.
Let me be very clear. If you don't use Firefox, they don't give two tiny fucks about whether you have internet or not. In fact, they hope you don't, because it decimates the market share if all Chrome users stop working at the same time. Oh, Mozilla's working and Chrome's not. I'll switch to Mozilla. They would prefer that to all people having internet.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, let me just like strip that back for a second. It's a heartwarming story for 0.7 seconds, and then
If that.
it falls in,
Yeah.
and you realise. So for things that aren't really what they seem as far as value propositions are concerned, Twitch Prime are kind of coughing up some Overwatch loot crate things, and I don't care.
Yeah.
It's probably good if you play Overwatch, I guess.
Yeah,
mean-
I've seen a lot of people giving these away. I think
I don't
my point putting this in was obviously, we're all streamers, we all, we all like Twitch Prime because free subs is a great idea.
I think the loot box things are fine, plan.
I think it's
you
fine,
eat
yeah.
free shit.
What
the hell?
what would
that
you
in-
guys like to see from
A
Twitch
game
Prime
that's
content?
not on their pissing launcher. I don't want your reskinned version of Curse. I'm sick of it. Fuck off. Give me a Steam code.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll do that in the same way that Mozilla will.
Yeah, as an Amazon company,
No, I mean Twitch Prime is great. Okay, it's been a consistent benefit, and it's very, very hard to argue against free stuff. Now I don't know what's in the Overwatch loot crate. I don't
I
play
think
Overwatch
it
anyway.
guarantees
Gold.
you a legendary
Right.
A legendary what?
Skin.
something.
Oh,
Thing.
their skin.
Their
is it? Okay.
skins, sound bites, sprays.
Is this a thing that you can't
Heroes.
easily get by playing the game?
So when you play the game, every time you sort of level up and stuff, every time you play the game, you can collect coins, and with the coins you can buy individual
Oh, okay,
stuff.
so it's a free thing that you might not have to buy otherwise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
What I
alright. Sounds
what
alright.
one of my teammates said in Twitter, and what I think of it as well, is it's more interesting of how it's Blizzard. It doesn't have to
Right.
necessarily be Overwatch, but apparently Blizzard don't do this. So for them to do it and team up with Twitch, and the blog post was much more interesting than this Prime Loot thing for me, and how Twitch has got exclusive rights for 2 years to stream their esports.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah,
So, like-
yeah, they found together.
Yeah, so that is much more interesting than the Prime Loot, but I think that's like a little symptom of it. And so people are just looking at me like, ugh, Overwatch, which is what I did. But then you dig a bit deeper and you're like, oh, well, actually, this means good things
Yeah.
for us. It
I
could
mean-
mean more, and bigger other big companies joining in with Prime.
I mean, I was definitely of the Overwatch, but in my defense, I'm well aware I'm in the minority of people who play Overwatch, in that I don't
Okay.
play it. So I'm sure that there's a bunch of people out there that were like, oh, sick, free legendary.
Yeah,
I-
I did
Yeah.
it.
They, in fact, the first thing that Blizzard
Do you
did
want
with
my
the
code?
Twitch Prime was giving a skin that you could only get through Twitch Prime for the priest in Hearthstone. And I
Yes.
was very happy to have that.
Yeah, we
I
had
was
Taronda,
like,
right?
oh, I get a man to be my priest guy. I get a girl. I can be the girl now. Whatever.
And she
I was
sounds
like, nice.
awesome.
Oh, she's way fucking better. Fuck Andrew and Rin. Nobody cares about that little shit
No.
anyway.
It sounds like
He was like one of the most like secretly hated characters in all of WoW. I'll have fucking cool night elf girl. Let's
Yep.
have some of that.
Yep.
But no, I was happy to have that.
Tyrant.
The point.
Was it?
Tyrande,
Yeah.
Sorry, I was like guessing because I don't play
yeah. And she says, you know, my beloved Tyrande, when you meet up against the druid guy, it's fucking rocking. It's proper good, that is.
But then on some months we get like pub shirts. And
But
it's
again,
like,
I suppose the thing of it is that this is all free shit that's directed at like the only way you're going to please everybody in this situation is if you give out something that everyone can use.
Right.
What else is on it at the moment? Look.
Don't forget we had
skin.
We had Streamline from it as well at one point, which was like, hey, have a game that not only streamers can play with their community, but you guys can play with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
all
kind of
good
nice.
stuff. Honestly, again, this seems to be we seem to be heading back into the entitlement situation again. If anybody's bitching about getting their free stuff through Twitch Prime,
their free
like
stuff,
this loot
sorry.
box,
Did you say their free stuff?
Yeah. Whenever it's a game, I'm like, I'll have that game.
No. I just want you to say the word free
the freeness
a little bit
it.
louder.
Yeah. Right. You know, anybody who's whining about this, you're coming across as a bit of a brat because it's free. Oh, I don't play Overwatch, so I'm not being supported. So it was still free.
You still get all the benefits that we had with whatever it was called before Twitch Prime. Yeah, Turbo. You still get all your Turbo benefits.
You still get the most important thing, which is the free shipping through Amazon fucking Prime.
Right. That's my thing. Is most people have Twitch Prime through Amazon Prime, right?
I know I fucking do.
So you still have all of your Amazon shit because that's the stuff you pay for. You get a free sub as well.
Oh, yeah.
You get
the extended VODs, which obviously for partners isn't as a big deal, but you get the extended VODs, no adverts.
Right? Like,
I love no adverts.
You don't have to suffer through the American Gods advert 6,000 times a day. Because that is the only advert on this fucking website now.
The thing that I always comes down to with this is that, like, Twitch Prime is universally been hailed as a good idea. Now, you can look at it in the same way that we just looked at Mozilla and be snide and be like, well, the principle of this is 100% to get people who aren't playing Overwatch to try and play Overwatch. But the difference is that if you have no interest in playing Overwatch, being given a gold loot box will not cause you to buy and download that game, right? But if you already owned Overwatch, yay, free, whatever the fuck the thing is that you get for free, right? Brilliant. There have been free things, as you say, for pubs. I'm assuming that's just some sort of skin. As you say, there were the games. There was that surfboarding game or whatever. There was the fucking Hearthstone portrait, which, by the way, I actually opened WoW and leveled a character just to 10 to get the portrait. Fucking 6 to 12 months ago, whenever it came out, I re-leveled a character just to 10. Hadn't opened WoW in 2 years and just ran around doing fetch quests just to do that for 6 hours. So I'll take Twitch Prime over that every fucking day of the week. Well, I just ran around Goldshire like a twat doing fetch quests until I got level 10 and then immediately uninstalled the game when I knew that I had my new portrait. I wanted sick wizard skin.
I mean,
I always...
No, if you like WoW, that's not a criticism of anybody who loves WoW. WoW is fucking boss.
I'm
WoW was
like
the fucking... WoW's still the fucking all-strider in terms of MMOs, even this many years later.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be kind of devil's advocate-y here, and the thing is, Prime is free, and there's extra stuff that you get by having Amazon Prime and linking it to your Twitch account. It's also specifically there so Amazon can link buyer patterns to people that do things on Twitch and whatever else. So
at least that's a quid pro quo arrangement, right?
Yeah,
but you gain something, and so you have to put up with adverts.
Yeah, I mean, it's free, yes, but it also is specifically there to provide a very, very valuable service.
Yeah. Nobody thinks Amazon are losing here.
Free.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody thinks Amazon are losing out here. Their Twitch Prime thing is so good because it does seem like a great idea, and in every way it is a great idea for the consumer. Plus, Amazon make a fucking mint as well. So that's almost the perfect system. It's almost the opposite of the sneaky Mozilla system, which is only gain for them. Right?
Yeah,
because the gain is there for the consumer. The free Twitch Prime, the free whatever the shit is in the loot box this week, all that stuff is there as benefits for the consumer. And the negatives from the consumer are, broadly speaking, that your information is then data-based and you can then be tagged by Amazon specific advertising and statistics and mapping and so forth, which is all huge benefit to them anyway. But we don't lose anything in terms of having Twitch Prime. We only gain, and Amazon may gain more, and they do. Of course they do.
It helps
corporate
their,
enterprising. But
it helps their look as well, because a while ago they had a lot of negative feedback on Prime because of it. So linking it up with these different services is helping their vision a bit.
Yeah.
Oh no,
so
I mean,
I like it.
Google does,
but I wouldn't have got
thing.
it beforehand.
Like,
I mean, honestly, I'm ambivalent to what they put in the loot box until it becomes something I specifically want.
Mm-hmm.
But the second it becomes something I specifically want, I'll be like, woo, loot box, you say? The fact that like the previous 10 like Prime releases, I've been like, whatever.
I always take the free
second
game.
that one pops up, I'll fucking have it. I'll be all over that shit, if it's something I actually care about. And if it's nothing I care about ever, I still think that there's always going to be someone who cares. Like, I know this because I've had hundreds and hundreds of people in the last 2 days popping up in the chat going, hey, has anybody got a free Overwatch loot box? And then, they get banned immediately. But
that's a little tedious, yeah. Or the RuneScape
I've not had it.
Like, slews of RuneScape or the NBA coins as well. Slews of people begging for that.
Mine just get mine just disappear because I don't use them.
No, but there's people popping up, so people obviously do care about it.
Yeah.
People want the thing that they're putting out there, and again, they're putting it out there for free. Now, admittedly, a skin costs Blizzard a quarter of a nothing to make, so it's fine that they're putting out something for free that is nearly free for them to do anyway, and they'll recoup more in terms of people playing the game and visibility and whatever. And it doesn't matter. There has to be a quid pro quo arrangement in these scenarios. No capitalist edifice is going to be like, you want some free stuff? Here you go. What do you get out of this? Nothing. That's not going to happen because they're a capitalist edifice. They're not a fucking charity. So it comes down to the point when finding that balance between giving the consumer something they want in return for their marketability, their data stacks, their ability to advertise specifically, the visibility, whatever aspect that they're particularly levying from this is done in such a way that the consumer gets something literally and specifically targeted beneficial to them. That's okay. I don't mind getting something, having my data, which is already there because I've already got Amazon Prime anyway. It doesn't matter to me at all if they're going to start giving away free stuff. In fact, I think that's good.
Well, if the only thing you're doing is acknowledging the linkage between the two, which, to be honest, is probably already made through the cookies that they throw on your PC anyway.
Oh, fucking sure it is, absolutely. And that's I mean, in terms of what we would want from Twitch Prime, it's the question of whether or not you're going to please everybody or you're going to keep targeting pleasing a different group each time.
But if you specifically, right? If you could have anything sort of Twitch Prime-y out of Twitch Prime, what would you want specifically?
I would like a free indie horror game every month, please. That would save me money. No, but this is the point, right? If I'm thinking about me specifically, rather than me thinking about the benefit to the community or whatever like that, I'd like my interests catered for. But then they'd have to know my interests, And I'm not arrogant enough to think that my interests are more important than the interests at large, or that they're ever going to take a position over, like, the majority as a whole. Okay, but thinking in terms that I'd like to see the game thing was probably the best thing. I had no interest in playing the little surfboard game, but I thought it was really cool that they gave it out so that everybody could get a free game. That's great. Free game for everyone.
Free games? Yeah. Take all the free games and I just leave the loot because I'm like, I don't play that. But I'll take all the free games and I'll have a look
in
at them
terms
later.
of Twitch as a whole, like emotes is the most obvious thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You've got Twitch Prime, so you get a free emote. Only in the same way that, like, if you buy Darkest Dungeon through my link or your link or whoever's link,
they have
you get the goblet emote that you can't get anywhere else. And this works
I like
for an
that.
awful lot.
I think that's really good. It's the same with Atlas Reactor. If you buy Atlas Reactor crates, you can get various bits and pieces.
You get emotes and bits and
Yeah.
bobs. That's what
neat.
Twitch Prime can do that will give everybody something they can viably use.
Yeah.
Give them fucking PogChamp, or whatever, right? Like,
God,
and
can you
gi-
imagine
gi-
restricting PogChamp?
Can you imagine the screaming if Twitch Prime moved PogChamp
You know
to
how much
reward?
money
In fact, I want them to do
they'd
it.
make.
I want them to do it so much. Just so Kappa. That's even better.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
thinking of
put
Kappa.
Kappa behind
Move
a
Kappa
paywall.
into
Fine.
a Prime thing and
Yeah.
watch people fucking lose their minds and
Yeah.
start self-harming on cast.
Yeah.
I
Everybody,
cannot wait.
pepper in the chat
No.
while you still can.
But no, that is what in terms of Twitch Prime, something that is universally applicable, right? Emotes, aspects like that you can use across Twitch would be the most logical thing to put in Twitch Prime, and that would of course generate revenue and sales. But they don't need to do that sort of thing right now because they've got people like Blizzard who are power gaming them forward. And Blizzard are, let's not be silly. Overwatch, Hearthstone, WoW. All right. That covers 90% of the game playing market in some way or another. Because I don't play WoW anymore, and I've never played Overwatch, but I sure as fuck play Hearthstone. And there are people that's going to cross. Those three games are going to hit so many people at once. You just have cross-contaminating thingies. Because I'm sure that gaining legendaries gains you. Because Blizzard do this for everything. I'm sure that gaining things in one thing means you start to unlock things in other things. Because Heroes of the Storm did that for a while when you got card backs for playing Heroes of the Storm, and you got mounts in WoW for playing Hearthstone, and you got this portrait in Hearthstone for playing WoW. And so, they do that all the time. So I bet it's going to dovetail in, and you cover the entire marketplace with Blizzard shit in some way or another. At the very least, I know what Overwatch is. If they're releasing a game I've never heard of, I'm looking at it and going, well, I know what Overwatch loot is. I've never played the game, but I'm totally well aware of it.
Yeah.
And if you've played it before and you've quit, it will encourage people to go back in. Is the thing.
If you had fun but didn't have the time, you're going to reopen that shit.
Like, hey, it's free. Oh, I may as well play a match while I'm here.
Knock it out.
Yeah.
I've already owned the game. I'll sling it, re-download it, whatever.
We've been doing it with HOTS recently. HOTS has been very, if you play X amount of games with friends, you can get this character here and this character there. And I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll play. And then eventually it was, we all meeting up for HOTS? Yeah, cool. All right, catch you later.
And obviously, if you're being cynical, the fact that the month before the Necromancer is released in Diablo 3, something heavy Blizzard visibility occurs on Twitch is not any sort of coincidence. The Necromancer comes out in 3 days?
Yeah.
The loot crate came out 2.5 or 3 weeks ago. I don't see a fucking link. Blizzard are terrible at marketing. They should feel ashamed.
Really bad. Really
everything.
bad at staying in the public eye.
They do not know how to maintain visibility. While
like,
the
hey, we've already
Hearthstone
got all the
Global
money.
Games goes on at the same time, and whatever the fuck's happening in WoW at the moment. I'm sure there's something. There's always some shit.
There's
going
something
on.
going on
not
with HOTS
really.
at the moment. There's a Blizzard event.
HOTS is happening at the
There's a
moment as well.
Diablo event for HOTS right now. So
They know what they're doing. They're not stupid, and it's good to see.
Oh God, no.
I don't have a problem. I have no issue with companies carefully marketing themselves in a way that relies upon the consumer to pay attention and care. If they do anything like super shady, then it becomes a different matter. But if they're just being visible, that's how you succeed. That's how Blizzard have succeeded for 25 years with only 5 fucking games.
And again, if they want to be visible by going, hey, here's a thing you can have.
Yeah,
on
enjoy
us.
this.
Enjoy this. That's cool.
I will take that in both hands. Thank you.
Here's an event that we're putting on to remind you that Diablo is a game. Yeah, off you go. Yeah, happy with that. That's fine.
Also, they're releasing the thing that everybody in Diablo has been screeching about since Diablo 3 came out, the lack of the Necromancer. They're finally doing the thing,
It's £15.
£15 doesn't surprise me. That's what I would expect them to charge that, because people will pay it.
Because people will pay it, because
I'm going to buy the
released,
HD
people
fucking
wanted
remake of Brood War the fucking millisecond that comes out. I will be waiting, sitting there to buy that shit and download it. The moment that gets released onto Battle.net, I am ready for that shit. And I've got Brood War on my PC right now.
Oh no.
But no, everybody will,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They really taps into the thing that advertisers are really keen on getting at the moment, because it's really key to getting the message across, which is direct user interaction and occupying that user and keeping their concentration on it. Much the same way as they do the ads for bits on Twitch. It's not quite there yet, but you have to click into the advert or options for you to interact with the advert in order to get your bits and to get stuff progressing through and whatever else with that advert.
Oh, comrade, that's because the pound has taken a nosedive because Brexit's a cunt storm. That's why £15 and $15 is nearly the same thing.
Is it so
Yeah,
bad?
pretty
It was 127 yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I tell
Actually,
you,
we're not complaining because that just means we get more money.
right,
But
but
Wait,
so
I always
you know,
get
the pound
confused
can
which way it
continue
is.
to the pound can continue to nosedive against the dollar. I hope it becomes the same fucking thing. I will laugh my fucking tits off the day that happens.
Yep.
Theresa May, continue to screw us, please.
I'd love to get it. Yeah.
oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Well,
There's a correction for
$2.50.
you. Sorry, it is $15, but apparently they are leveling the price at $12.99 here.
$12.99. There
Yeah.
you go.
Not my brain
Pip.
is not happening in conversions today. I do apologize.
Do you
Um,
play
No,
Overwatch?
Do
Might
I
be
play
dropping
Overwatch?
time for August,
I do,
right?
yeah.
Well, if you let me whisper you, I'll send you my code for it.
Okay. Can you
Yeah.
DM it to me later? Don't do
This
it
is
now.
just
Do you want-
over-
do you want-
Don't,
do you want
don't,
my
don't,
one as
don't
well?
do it
'Cause I
now
don't
because
give
I'm
a fuck.
desperately trying to remember to change the video every now and then and it's not happening.
I'll just send it to you on Twitter. There you
Videos.
go.
Yeah, speaking of switching videos, it's time I did it again. I don't know what we're
So,
going to play for this one.
Our next topic. Do you want to introduce this one because you may have more knowledge around it, Pip? Take it away.
I'll put the Paradox video back up for a second. I kind of saw this and I didn't. It kind of struck me as one of those things where I'm like, well, duh. It's
I like this
recently
article.
come out in a study that playing video games has complex sort of consequences to do with your brain and how your brain works. The Open University of Catalonia, okay, and the Massachusetts General Hospital were looking at how video games affect the structure and activity of our brains. Okay.
Soon you're going to be telling me that exercising builds muscles.
Right? So I looked at this and I'm kind of looking at it like, do people not get it? And they basically they came up with two things. One of them was a negative consequence in that video games can be addictive. And apparently, I didn't know this, apparently we call that internet gaming disorder.
No, they call it.
We certainly don't call it that. They might.
I was hoping it was going to be IGN for a second there. Like, I was like, that is way better. We should change it.
No, you don't get
Gaming neuroses, something like that.
But also,
Yeah.
video games can increase the size and efficiency of brain regions, sort of relating to spatial kind of skills. So
That
yeah,
is
people use them
news
for,
and
like-
hasn't been a thing for 20 years. That is news to me.
I don't understand. This came up in my news feed this week, and I didn't. I had to look at the date on it because I'm like, is this genuinely?
From 1984.
Yes.
Yeah.
How is this a thing? It reminded me of like everybody's been saying that since I started working out in January, I've changed shape massively, right? And
No fucking shit.
everybody's always said that because I played point and clicks as a kid, my logic works slightly differently to everybody else's, and my puzzle solving skills are good. I'm good at thinking outside the box, and I'm sat there going, no shit.
That's why you rub things against other things all the time when I see you Pip. That's why it makes sense now. You're there with a tea bag and the bottle of milk, rubbing them together, seeing what
Pretty sure that's how it works.
Constantly sat here like that. But I kind of. I don't understand why these articles keep coming up and why I don't understand why we give them.
The reason these articles keep
Right.
coming up is to continually have positive media presence in the gaming industry, who is definitely the people funding this, to backlash against potential negative gaming industry
I mean,
feedback.
look at the controller that's in the picture. So I'm
The controller is in the picture. Is it actually a NES controller or what is it?
No,
No.
It's an Xbox. It's an Xbox One pad that is powered on, and they're
Oh,
holding it
yeah.
in the correct way, rather than the article I saw the other day that had N64 controllers in it, and they were holding them on the sides, and I'm like,
I saw that.
who
And it was like
plays
this.
do.
N64 like that?
You see it, and someone's like holding their controller like this, going,
I was
"Oh,
looking for my N64. Shh, it's good over there.
got a
Did you
tab
see
Yeah,
it
there."
the other? And they're holding it
it's
on
not
either
surprise.
side, and I'm like, who played the N64 like that?
This will be the controller with the gun stick on the bottom, right?
And I'm like, nobody did that. Everybody held it to the right. So you had one hand right on the right,
One
and
hand in the middle and one, yeah.
Right? Nobody held it like that. And you see these old PlayStation adverts, and this is something that really irritates me. These adverts where kids are playing video games even though the controller's sat down in front of them and the game's going in a non-demo mode. I'm just like, sorry, it's one of those things that...
It's one of those things like if you're watching a TV show or something and someone sat there playing like... I remember it was Coupling. It was a show from like ages and ages ago, and they were like, make them do the crawl action. They're going...
What are they playing?
Any game? No.
Oh my god. There you go. The studio is run by people who still call every video game a Nintendo. Yeah. My mom still calls every console I own either a Sony or a Nintendo, and every Pokemon.
Oh, she's progressing then.
Yeah, every Pokemon is a Pikachu.
In fairness, every Pokemon is a Pikachu,
right.
So fuck that noise.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
My mum was pretty good with that. Like, she loved Jigglypuff, so.
Like,
wait, is that porn star? What?
The thing is, right, my mum has finished some of the most difficult Zelda games out there. She's really fucking good at video games, but she has like no understanding of the industry as a whole or anything outside of what she's played. So
I like you tacked on Zelda to the most difficult. It's like some of the most difficult games out there. It's like
no. Some of the most difficult like Zelda games. She's got a Wii U, right, and she loves the Wii U to death, and it's her Nintendo box. And she plays the games on her Nintendo box, and she's definitely frightened of doing like online Mario Kart in case people are mean.
Oh,
because in her defense,
people who play video games
shit
on the internet are mean, and I'm like, but Mum, it's Mario Kart. It's a family game. And she's like, no, I've seen you play. No.
She's actually dead right. It should be a family game because your mum's nailed the shit. She has definitely nailed the whole multiplayer interactivity on the internet down cold, because in like 20% of cases you'll find people who are nice and 80% of them will in fact be cunts. So she's right.
Right.
Mario Kart or not, fucking bubble bobble or what?
Play against my nephew. He's gonna rip you a new one if you beat him.
Amazing.
Say right now.
Amazing. But yeah, I brought it up to sort of like this. I brought up this article because I'm like, this is great because we're seeing more of these articles come through where gaming has positive things. But I kind of wanted to ask you guys two questions. One, like, is anybody ever surprised by these ever anymore?
I am surprised.
Do they work?
Do
these convince people outside of the industry that gaming can be good? Secondly, what the shit is internet gaming disorder?
Oh, well, that's the same kind of logic that having a trauma therapist puts in place.
I'm just kind of like,
it's generating medical buzzwords for
It doesn't
nonsense.
have to be online. That's what's annoying.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, like, and you know, anything that kind of even dissuades one person from thinking, yeah, I've played fucking Snake once, and then I'm 97% more likely to shoot down a school. I'm kind of on board with, I guess.
Yeah.
But it does kind of belabor the point, doesn't it?
Well, again, this is just pandering to morons, which is something that I know has to happen to get across a point, because you know you can't rely upon people, especially in current culture, to spend time researching an issue and thinking about an issue and giving any due process or critical thought to a concept. But
people are more stupid than average.
I mean, I looked at the article and I was surprised how short it was, like in itself, and I was kind of like, oh, where's the rest of it? Keeping on scrolling.
Spent 20 minutes discussing this and decided, yeah, you're right, yeah.
It turns out that, yeah, fine motor skills are improved when you do fine motor tasks. I was surprised to learn this.
There's one dude like, look, I've fucking got this. I played Crash Bandicoot for half an hour.
Soon the article, like, you know, taste receptors for salt are fired when you eat salty foods comes out, and we all go, yeah.
Although
I got to the point where when I was playing games, that one, like my keyboard hand was a lot more, what's the word?
dexterous.
Usable, dexterous, yeah, than my other hand. So I would be at work and like spinning pens around trying to get my hands back on the same.
Just crushing walnuts, just because you
like,
can.
This is fine. And I would just stand there at work like, do shit like that all the time. And this is how not to exercise.
Then work harder.
I love how everybody on iTunes just went, what the shit is she doing?
Sorry, I dropped a pen. So
No,
it's not an actual pen.
That surprises me though, because I mean I've got shit joints, as we all know, and
me too.
My doctors were like, okay,
by the way.
so take like do like more crochet and do like, you know, play more of your video games, because that'll get your hands moving and it'll start to strengthen them up better.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was like, oh, you have to rest them, and I'm like, precisely, like my joints.
You want to lose weight? Learn pole dancing. You want to increase strength in your upper and lower body? Is your upper and lower body stronger now? I bet it fucking is. Yeah.
Right, let's get
you've got the musculature of somebody who exercises regularly.
Right.
Weird.
It's one of those things where like my joints are wobbly as shit because all of my connective tissue isn't built properly, so I require stronger muscle tissue. So I'm going to sit there and do nothing, clearly.
Yeah.
That's probably the best course of action is for me to sit and cry about the fact that I have EDS and that it's never going to get any better. Like, it's dumb.
It's not news. It's what was known perpetually. But again, you know, the media forefront this is part of the publicity arm of the gaming industry that is positively trying to put itself in a light to combat negative, which is fine. You know, that has to be done in this in the current climate that we're in. There has to be positive media to combat the negative media that will come out eventually. I'm sure there'll be a school shooting that will get blamed on COD at some point in the next year or so.
Oh, you mean again?
Again, you know, because apparently it's not enough. You have to do it every 6 months, otherwise people forget that video games are the root of all school shootings. Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You know, like in South Korea, where like 90% of people play video games, and they have school shootings never. Like that statistic that people don't like to bring forward. You know, South Korea, the most peaceful country in the world. Oh, everybody plays video games there. There must be a causal link. Is there a causal link? Nah.
No, it's like when Professor Layton was coming out, and they have, you know, all this positive feedback about it helps your brain and fight off Alzheimer's when you're old, and so having I mean, it is shitty, but having the positive reinforced continuously.
Yeah, it's nice to see it like coming out continuously. But if it could come out of a slightly more credible source, if it could come out like as a well-written journal article rather than
there'll be actual journal articles, but nobody reads them.
There's a review here. I was about to look at it.
I read them. Yeah, me too. Okay, it's fine, right? But don't worry. Okay, but
as long as I'm not the only sado in the call, that's fine.
No, it's fine, right? But like 95% of people will not seek out a journal article.
95% of people won't know how to read them, which is unfortunate.
Well, quite. So they have to have this sort of bite-sized dipshit version, so that the main points can be get across for anybody that just clicks on it, but their attention span is like a minute and a half long, and they haven't got the time, and they're basically already looking at the adverts below as they're sort of scanning through the article, and then they click on one of those, and they're off looking up the 10 most celebrity bikini shots ever, right?
5 things you never knew about video games.
Like, you won't believe what Sonic looks like now.
These fucking, you know, the bullshit newsfeed garbage that floats around that causes you to just skip through it. But this is how it is. So you can see why they'd make it bite-sized. Right,
but I think there's a way to make it rather than, hey, it affects the brain that allows you to do stuff. Sometimes you can get addicted.
Oh, sure, but again, I suppose no, you're right. But what we're doing is we're dealing with this we're looking at this going like, what? If you exercise a muscle, no matter what muscle it is, that muscle becomes stronger? If you build a wall, you have a wall? Don't tell me that.
Whereas I would quite like articles to come out to be like, so, you know, gaming actually has these positive connotations that then echo in society in X way, and gamers are responsible for X thing, and this is a medical...
Oh, sure, but already you've gone too far down the sociological rabbit hole, right? You're right, again, and in an ideal world, you're absolutely correct. But already, the second that you move beyond gaming is nice, good, right? You already lost 70% of your audience. Right. Yeah. The second you start talking about neuroreceptors and transmitters, which is what the brain activity is actually doing, like neuron firing, when you're activating reward systems in your brain, which cause you to learn and become better at a thing, and then that's why you continue to do the thing, because the rewards transmission's going on. The second I start talking like this, no one's listening anymore.
Sorry, what?
Thank you. No, but this is it, right? This is the reality that we're in.
Nice breeze out of that window, Sam. Yeah.
I was just thinking.
We have to say, gaming might get you addicted, right? But they're not going to talk about pattern recognition in that statement, or anything like that, because that's going to immediately lose the audience.
Right.
But then at the same time, like this kind of falls into it's a historical thing, right? But everything is scandalous when it's vaguely, and I stress the word vaguely, new. Women going outside the household become hysterical because they can't understand things and aren't looking after the home and whatever else. And then as time has gone by and we've kept labouring that point and people have, railed against that point, it's become more and more normalised that women are allowed to do things like have jobs and such frivolous things. Or like, you've
but don't give them the same money because fuck women, right?
All right.
Yeah, of course. But, or, reading books at one point was like an unfavourable thing to do, and it was
were so scandalous that they would make you a ridiculous human being consumed by hysteria. And then music came along, and listening to certain kinds of music was scandalous and would fill you with some kind of strange hysteria. And then various other forms of music came along and did the same thing, but the last music was okay now because that's all gone and it's fine.
Because we're the grown-ups now.
Me and Schoolmother are fine here because we can't suffer from hysteria. It historically being something that you guys have.
Oh, right, yes, no, of course, women. And we all know how you
based on the word
hysteria in women.
Hysteria comes from the womb.
Yeah. Yeah, and we all know how we cure the...
What we get is righteously angry. You guys get hysterical.
Yeah. But
I wish this were not even a semi-true conversation that I can imagine other people having.
The sad thing about this is that 50 years ago, I could actually say we get righteously angry and you get hysterical without it being a bit of a gag.
And everybody'd be like,
I'm still thinking, and I'm there like, oh.
The problem is you guys are okay with this. Tash and I are now like, unfortunately, thinking of the various metal implements that you could use to cure hysteria. And I hurt a little bit right now, so I'm just gonna sit here and.
But my point is, like, it's the same kind of progression through time, and it takes as much as this article is probably about as much use as a limp dick at an orgy, in the grand scheme of things. Like,
I've always enjoyed chocolate teapot.
Chocolate fire guard, because you can get a chocolate teapot.
Yeah, right? Fire screen.
But whilst it's not going to,
we come from different worlds.
But it's not necessarily going to impact anything directly from this article, but it keeps up that pushing, that conversation.
It keeps the PR alive, which is the key of it.
Yeah.
And through the course of time, it will normalize, and then it'll be, I don't know, plugging yourself into the internet to have sex with an alien lady or something like that, and then that'll be
kids nowadays.
Sterile as a race. And then that will eventually normalize, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Back in my day,
we had bartending waifus, and we were happy. Should we move on?
We had to go to a massage parlor for that sort.
Oh, good grief! Let's talk about our game recommendations of this week. Let's do that. Let's not talk about this anymore. Thank you, Tash. I've just had your message. Let's talk about something nice.
So speaking of dark things, what have you been playing this week, Adam?
I mean, mostly Hello Kitty, obviously.
You don't have a video for Hello Kitty. Fuck you.
The other one.
Oh, all right. Mostly Kirby's Dream House.
Dreamland, you were really close. It's actually a really
I
good
could
game.
barely give a fuck.
No, it's really good. Kirby's Dreamland was really... I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, but instead of playing as a little
good
pink
still.
Testicle who sucks things in, I've been playing primarily Darkest Dungeon.
You couldn't do that in...
What?
you couldn't take their powers in Kirby's Dreamland.
You couldn't suck them in as Kirby?
No. Well, you couldn't take their powers.
What the hell is the point of that game? Isn't that the primary mechanic? The fact that he sucks stuff in and inflates.
Never mind.
Like
Talk
Yoshi.
about Darkest Dungeon and horrible things. Is this a nice game? Why should people play it?
Why should people play Darkest Dungeon? Basically to prove that you're not an internet pussy, steam whining, crybaby 14-year-old fuckhead. But more important. No, this game is a hardcore Lovecraftian RPG. It's designed to generate psychological challenges that other games overlook, a level of stress and fear not usually noted outside of a horror game is generated in this experience, and it is something you need to be experiencing for yourself, and you should play it on Radiant the first time that you play it. Absolutely, you should. You shouldn't jump in. If you jump into Blood Moon, you'll fail, and you'll just uninstall the game. You should play it on Radiant and get the flavor and get the feeling. And if you continue to love it, you should move forward, because this game is a masterpiece in the genre. If you give it the chance and play it through as you should start it, which is on easy mode, because easy mode in this game is still like hard mode for every other game.
I guess easy mode in this is basically the tutorial almost.
Like, honestly, Radiant mode isn't even the tutorial.
Every time I've played the tutorial, which is the bit where you take the two dudes through, in the normal mode, I've killed one of them every single time without fail. I hate everything about that. That tells you so much about me.
No, this is the reality is that even Radiant mode is harder than the average game mode normal level, but that's because it's supposed to be. And an impassioned cry to everyone to read the cutscene, the little bit of text that pops up before the credits that says, "This is a game about going insane and losing your mind and dealing with the consequences. Your party members will die. They will go insane. This is part of the game."
I don't know about this.
Dasso's just reminded me of that one time on stream where I killed both of the dudes in the tutorial.
Well played.
Because
that is actually pretty
possible.
Good work.
Like,
you can absolutely die in the tutorial, 100%. And the game will drop you off in the hamlet. Like, it does. You can't hear the game sigh at you, but it's there.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. We'll give you 2 new characters if you're that incompetent. No, and Crimson Court has added in a huge amount of interesting mechanical stuff. And again, when you're playing it first time out, you might want to switch off the Crimson Court. You might want to.
Certainly you would.
You might want to not play it with Crimson Court enabled first time out of the gate, because it's harder. And you should, from the perspective of lore and the perspective of completionism, but you'll find it more of a challenge, a very, very brutal challenge. And it's so worthwhile. The victory, when you achieve it, you will be like the first time you ever beat the final boss in a game when you were 10 and you ran around the house screaming, and it was like the world had come finally flowing into you and you were made whole again. That's the Darkest Dungeon experience.
How many times have you been running around the house screaming?
What, since then, or from being Darkest Dungeon?
Yeah, Darkest Dungeon mainly, I guess.
Oh, like 6, 7. Like the first time I think there's still a highlight somewhere in my VODs of the first time I beat the game on stream, where I freaked out and started to cry or something.
Oh.
Oh man, that was the work of like months to get to that stage.
Oh god.
But yeah, no, that's the primary focus we've been working with this week.
Sweet.
And the really solid part about Darkest Dungeon as well, which I think is worth touching on, is it's a multiple run game. Like even if you do succeed in completing the game, like there is so much or so many different elements that you can switch in, switch out, change around, try differently.
You don't even need to beat a single boss in the game apart from the last one. Like you can go through the entire game and ignore every boss, or you could go through the entire game and complete every boss, or you can ignore the code forever or whatever.
And can I just say that the bosses are so beautifully designed. I think it's what is it, Siren?
Yeah, the Siren.
Who turns away if you attack her, and she looks almost human for like this half a second.
Oh no, she turns into a human when she casts her alluring attack that steals one of your party members. She becomes a human again.
Yeah. But if you attack her at certain points, she sort of flinches as if you are hurting this sort of delicate creature rather than a boss, and it hurts. It's
the
wonderful.
lore of the Siren is brutal.
Yeah, it's horrid.
This is a little girl who followed around the ancestor, who kept her there for a little while until she was annoying, then sold her to the Deep Ones for treasure. The lore of the Siren is gut-wrenching.
That was horrendous. We worked that out as my way through, and as Dasso in the chat says, like, my first time meeting Siren was a wonderful moment, because I sat there in the boss fight and went, fuck, You know, like it's a very, very well constructed, very clever game, and provided you put
Quite
the thought
honestly-
into it, it's lovely.
Quite honestly, there's only like 3 bosses out of 12 that aren't tragic. Like the prophet came to the town to proclaim the evil of the ancestor because he'd seen the horrors that were to come. So the ancestor tore his eyes out and left him in the stocks.
Yeah.
All right.
Fair enough.
Ancestor's a massive cunt though, so there's that.
Getting that vibe, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
No,
a very
good
it's a very clever, very sad game. And it's wonderfully designed and it's beautifully written all the way through.
Oh, the writing is.
And once you start beating the darkest dungeon, I've had very, very little sort of experience with boss fights that make you feel as tense and as sort of still as that.
When I beat the darkest dungeon on Stygian for the first time, I stopped talking to the chat pretty much for the entire 3 hours of doing it. I wasn't even looking at the chat. I wasn't responding to alerts. The mods were like, he's not paying attention. If you want his attention, you won't get it right now.
Yeah.
Because the entire time I spent, thinking out what could go wrong in the next 10 moves and guarding against it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so from one horror game to another. And one of my favorites! You've picked one of my favorites. I'm so pleased. Tell us about Alien Isolation. Tell me about Alien Isolation, why everybody should play it. Because despite it being a little bit too long, it's really good.
I liked it though. I felt like it could have changed pace a little bit earlier. But I am a sucker for horror movies. I always have been. And Aliens, as a child, was like one of my favorite films. So having like more of the content for me is great. And it's really, really well made. It's set, if those of you that don't know, it's set in between Alien, the film, and Aliens, the film. And you play as Ripley's daughter. So fucking good. I love that game. It's just good. Just play it. It's on sale. So you should do it. I have pop figures. I have perma beads of it. It's quite, as Pip said, it's quite a long game, but it does change pace. It's a bit frustrating at times.
I wouldn't play on nightmare mode if I were you.
No.
I completed it on that, and it took me
do it in normal
2.5 weeks
Yeah.
to beat it on nightmare mode.
Yeah.
There's a section with the lab, and honestly, if I had to do that 2 more times, I probably would have thrown. We named him. The alien was called Humphrey. For those of you that don't know.
Sure, I mean that makes
Humphrey's
total sense.
shit.
Carry on.
Yep.
I have a feeling
Humphrey is a little shit. So, that's what it's called.
Yeah. For
So
me,
you
it was
should
the
own it.
Working Joes. I'm not great with Uncanny Valley. Uncanny Valley upsets me on quite a deep level, and the Working Joes were super, super upsetting. And the fact that I had a tingle tuner and knew where the alien was, and I'm like, yeah, it's up above me, it's probably gonna drop down. That was fine. Nope. Not the
Joes.
Working Joes. Nope. Couldn't. Nope.
I just love it. It's just I can play it all the time, quite happily. The Working Joes didn't bother me. They were more like, oh fuck off. I'm in a cupboard. Leave me alone.
No,
I think I put that one at number 8 in my top 10 horror games of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you did a run through of those recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got just one more to do now, but I got distracted by the Crimson Court.
But like, I
need
dig
more
about
horror
it.
games.
Yeah, like the thing I really dig about it is like the sort of sense of helplessness you have when dealing with the actual alien.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do. Like
Well, you can drive the alien away perpetually.
you can
throughout the
kind
game.
of go.
Well,
"Go on,
yeah.
I'll-"
Once you get it though, like in the first bit.
Oh yeah, but you don't only meet the alien like twice before you get the flamethrower.
Yeah. But those two sections are horrendous though. Because
Oh
it's,
sure. Well, one of them is the fucking hospital section that everybody knows and hates.
Yeah.
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 So that's the thing.
But yeah, no. If you enjoy the Alien films, if you like running around with a tingle tuner and still getting the shit scared out of you, you know it's up above you. You know it's coming down because the tingle tuner says so. Like you.
Can I clarify? By the tingle tuner,
Sorry.
do you mean the motion sensor?
Yes. Yeah.
I
So,
was I assumed that's what it was.
I never
I
remember.
assumed that was what you meant halfway through, but I thought I had to clarify at one point in case this was some other thing that you had in the chat.
No. So I could never remember what it was called. And I remember playing Zelda and having somebody on their GameCube, like, having the Tingle Tuner. So it's an unfortunate thing. I'm really sorry.
Same difference, right?
Yeah. But yeah, no, you know the alien's coming because the motion detector says that it's on its way. Still fucking scary. The working Joes are terrifying because they don't give a shit about anything. They're gonna grab you and they're gonna have you, and it's just.
That's rude, Pip.
It also 100% needs to be mentioned that it is the only decent movie game adaptation in existence. Because
I'm gonna think about that for a second, but I'm inclined to agree.
You can't, while you're trying to think of one example,
right?
down to that point.
Exactly.
No, it is staggeringly realized as a Alien the movie experience, and it gives fans exactly what they want. There's a point right in the middle of the game, which if you've not played it, I certainly won't spoil it, but if you're a fan of the Alien game, you will literally start crying with happiness as you do a certain aspect of the game that doesn't put you in any danger, but is truly magical.
I think
because
for me, from going from watching the films to walking around and looking at all the countertops and all the monitors, and the little birds that drink and all that all the mugs scattered around, and like it's genuinely a really
paper unicorns from Blade Runner.
It's super
and
interesting to walk
DLC
around as if you're like in the film. You know, it was a really nice experience in that regard, and how the
DLC was a really good
I've not played that.
To the
Do I need to?
I assume you mean Crew Expendable when you say the DLC. Yeah.
Do I need to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
are you a fan of Alien?
Yeah.
I'd play it then. Yeah.
Sweet.
Do it.
I just not got back around to it, but yeah, no.
It only take about an hour to do. It's not long.
Yeah, it's not long, but it's really good.
It's a good example of short but awesome. Doesn't
Labor
need to
of
be
love.
5 hours and crap. It can be 1 hour and amazing.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. I'll agree with that. All right. Should we
Right,
move on to
it's on
something more
sale.
pleasant?
Sure.
Something a little bit nice, because I saw this during the E3 coverage, and I don't know which one is there. And I'm like, yes, this game can stay. I'll have this. Yep, this is the reason to buy a VR set for me, because it's. Tell us about Moss.
So
And about
you may have seen this pop up in the Sony press conference. It was kind of in the middle during their sort of like little VR sequence. And I'd already booked an appointment to see it, and I was like, I'm suddenly not so convinced, because they had another trailer available before that one came out that showed it off a little bit better. And then that one's disappeared into the mists of time, apparently, and no longer exists. And so basically, like a sort of diorama, right? It's like you get people make like a shoebox diorama where it's like cut away at the side, and then you're kind of looking into it, and whatever's, you put the fucking nativity scene in there or
like
whatever.
the Zelda thing.
Yeah.
Like the Zelda thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Topical.
So you're looking into the side, and you've got this little mouse friend who you're kind of like taking along to do platforming a little bit.
Like I've seen the plight that Pip likes about it.
I'm watching it.
We've reached the cute mouse who's doing things.
Yeah, right.
His name is Quill, and he's the cutest.
And there's like little puzzle
I'm
elements
terrible.
and stuff like that in there as well. But then also with your controller, as the person that's like reading this book, basically, you can reach into the experience and you can kind of help him sort parts of the puzzle, or you can interact with the environment in different ways using the actual controller whilst you're controlling mouse friend with the controller at the same time.
Getting a really cheap vibe.
Yeah.
There was a snake.
It felt, from what I saw of it, it felt a little bit Redwall, but without the politics.
Wasn't there a mouse game not too long
Ghost
ago?
of a Tale. Now, it's not finished. It's not finished, but that's good. That's really good. You should look into it.
It's giving me that kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's that is actually like Redwall-y as shit. That's really good. That's really good.
So the part that really made me dig this though is I hate VR. Like I think every VR game generally is pretty shit because we're currently in the sort of early adoption phase of VR where you just kind of get plonked into the middle of an environment and sort of go, I just play around with this shit for a bit and throw things at the wall and that's fine. This does VR in like a completely different fashion. It's not trying to make you run and gun and therefore throw up everywhere from the motion sickness. It's sort of static and you're looking around an environment. And the part that really kind of knocked me for six about it was you're concentrating down on this little sort of diorama thing and then you look up.
Isn't that No Face?
Yeah, I think so. But like I didn't encounter that in the demo. But like you like look up and then there's a whole world around you. Like 360 all the way around you. There's an entire world there that you can still interact with. It's not part of the core game, but it's this beautiful world that you're just kind of popped into the middle of whilst you're assisting this little mouse friend through her adventures. And it's just, there's something super immersive about it that I've not ever had from any VR experience because they're mostly TOS, but like it's just not something that putting you into a character's body has done so far with VR for me at all. Whereas this sort of looking on experience has really managed incredibly well. For like a first time studio, for their first time VR project, it's really impressive. And like it's kind of made me think, well, yeah, shit, like there are some cool things that can be done with VR. Like this actually works.
I'd like Alien Isolation in VR.
And
Alien Isolation in VR is all right.
You're not very good.
Fine.
I didn't even know it was out.
The nature of VR,
sorry,
like rifting or whatever, is such that it really doesn't. The whole problem with VR is that you have to be like you have to really have trouble getting immersed in your games naturally for VR to be a really good thing. And since I never really had a big problem with using the thumbstick to turn my character to look at a different part of the world as opposed to just doing this, it doesn't feel like a huge like seismic shift. But some of the horror is improved in the Oculus, but as Squall does say, it's all very early days. Until we get actually, electrodes plugging into our brain that stimulate the fear receptors, it's not going to be much of a shift.
Fridge freezer strapped to your forehead as well, because like that was the thing that always takes me out of VR experiences is I can't get past the fact that I've got a breeze block strapped to my face of varying weights. And this took me away from that. I forgot about it.
There are games that build on that though that are clever, but that's a really
make a helmet that you're supposed to be wearing.
Yeah, there's a great game for the Gear as well called Esper that has a sequel where you have telekinesis. You activate said telekinesis by doing that, which is where the touchpad is on your goggle set. So that kind of works, but again, it's super specific. And it's an unfortunate thing. I don't do very well with VR. I remember playing the dungeon one where there was stuff coming out of the ceiling and there was like a fire pit in the floor. And unfortunately that you walked like one square at a time. Which was great, except that every time I lurched forward, not only did I feel violently ill, but my entire body would do that.
Yeah.
So, well, this is the issue with VR, is that we're in this hilarious point now where we've increased the power of gaming to such a level that we suddenly have to take 20 years step back in terms of VR. With the graphics are fine because we finally worked out how to do this. We have to move one square. Oh, what you mean like a game on the Amiga? I have to move one square at a time by pushing forward and left.
Pretty much.
Interesting. And it will improve, of course it will.
Yeah.
But we won't see, really legitimate VR control, like, the fucking Skyrim VR that I may have pissed myself laughing at E3 about, when you have to touch the fucking thumbstick to turn around. And I was like, oh, you guys suck. I don't care. This is weak. How is this a VR experience? As you spin around and slam 180 degrees to the right. It's like, yeah, it doesn't feel right.
No.
That isn't how that isn't how I turn in reality, like I'm a fucking ballerina.
I've only tried VR once before it actually came out, so like in 2015. So I'm a bit like, I have no idea. I'm waiting
It's
until
not got
it
any
gets
better.
good.
As somebody who tries
let's
it
run
every
Gen
single
3.
convention and feels sick coming away from
Yeah.
every single convention.
Although we've got Doom VR, that won't vomit.
God, Jesus.
Doom is a hard game to play, not in VR.
I'm not
Jesus
being funny.
Christ.
Doom on a PC monitor made me feel ill.
Best play Doom VR then, that'd be lovely.
Like, I'm
Put
not
some,
being funny. I
put
do
some
spin
tarp
pole
down.
twice a week, right? And that is like absolute hell because the entire room will spin for 2 hours for every 2 minutes you spend on spin pole, right? Don't want to go anywhere near Doom because I feel like that's going to be 1,000 times worse.
Also, I've got to say one thing about VR that is continuing to make me laugh. In Skyrim, for example, you can see your arms when you swing through the screen, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't make it more immersive for me if my sword is floating disembodied in fucking front of me. That doesn't... I can swing my arm to do it, but that doesn't make it better. That makes it worse.
But
Okay.
Detachment.
In a similar kind of vein, you have to be very careful how you model said character for you to look at. Because I had a porn experience at, I think it must have been a PAX event, right? And the guys running the booth were like, "Baby, are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we'll go." Because I'm that kind of person. I'll give anything a go once, blah, blah, blah.
Did you actually get eye herpes from the headset? Or...
I didn't. I made them wipe it down before I put it on. Anyway.
I don't think there's enough wiping in the world
I put on,
to get that
I put
headset
on this
ready for me.
headset. I put on this headset, and I'm suddenly aware that I'm a man.
Oh.
And that was the weirdest feeling in the entire universe ever.
Did you make your giblets wobble? Did you give them a swing?
I feel like that would be interesting.
Genuinely bizarre. So you have to be super careful, I feel.
But inherently, therein lies the problem with VR as a whole at this time. Because, okay, even if they do model in someone, right, they're going to damn sure go with white for the first model.
Yep.
Right? So anybody who's black or a girl can go fuck themselves right out of the gate.
Yep.
Anybody who's Latina
Well,
especially in your porn thing, yeah. You know. But no, this is the point. You know it's going to be a white person first.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely 100% the first thing. Are they going to model in a whole series of skin tones? If so, what we're going to get is something like Baldur's Gate level, sort of circa Baldur's Gate Fallout skin toning. So there'll be a white one, and there'll be a sort of a browny one, and there'll be one that's kind of yellowy. And you'll be like, I'm Chinese. Am I going to use the yellowy one? I guess I'm using yellowy. Oh, I am as well. Oh, you as well. Yeah, where are you from? Mexico. Oh, sick. Same country. No problem.
This was the thing. I assumed that putting on this headset, I'd be given the choice, right? And I'm like, I really don't know what.
Now you know what happens when you fucking assume, right?
And I'm like, boys. And there's genuinely a video of me somewhere looking down into my lap going, boys, this isn't right. Like, there's something wrong here, and I don't...
Some sort of transsexual simulator that you've got yourself hooked into.
Just like, what is... So, yeah, it's going to be a problem regardless of what they put in, because, you know, unless it's got legs about this big, I'm never going to feel comfortable. Like, it's...
Well, this is the inherent issue.
Sorry. VR porn. I've always wanted motion sickness to go with my shame and regret.
Thanks, might as well.
I mean, did you play it though? I'm kind of interested to know.
I have a. Sorry, that's going down as a potential title for this episode. Sorry, shame, regret, and motion sickness. Cool.
But going back to the cute little mouse friend,
the actual point,
Sorry,
I could fuck your mouse.
I could like lean in corners and stuff, and like that's something I've been doing unconsciously since I was like 5, sort of like trying to lean into the screen, and you can actually do it, and it was really cool.
It does sound pretty interesting.
Pip, please, can we? What game have you been? Please, just can we get away from?
What game have you been playing from a year and a half ago?
Okay, so I recently went back to Dropsy. Because it's on sale in the Steam sale, and we will chat really quickly about the Steam sale. But I've been playing Dropsy because I've wanted to go back to playing the stuff that I actually enjoy playing. I've done so much of playing games because other people enjoy them recently, and that's shit, and I hate it.
It's bad.
So I've gone back to playing things like point-and-click adventure games, and honestly, Dropsy is one of the best examples out there that doesn't follow the verb formula. Dropsy doesn't speak. He is a terrifying-looking clown.
Yeah,
in quotation marks, he's a terrifying-looking clown who just wants to make everybody happy and just wants to hug everyone. And the story follows him as things in his life unravel to the point where nobody around him is happy, and so it starts to give him horrendous nightmares.
Dropsy is actually a fairly solid indie horror.
It's wonderful. It's actually wonderful. And it requires a couple of playthroughs to actually work out entirely what the shit is going on. And that is wonderful in itself. It's got a story that you'll get the first time through, but it has an overarching story regarding a corporation that you need a couple of goes through, and you need to do some digging to actually work out what's going on. And that's really nice, I feel. It's beautiful looking. It's beautiful sounding. I actually have a vinyl version of the soundtrack that is gorgeous. It's just a clown who wants to hug everything and fix everybody's problems. And that's the sweetest thing. It's actually the sweetest thing. And when things start to fall apart and he can't make everybody happy, he starts to get these horrendous nightmares. And it's just beautiful. It's such a great game, and it's such a good example of a point-and-click game that doesn't follow the traditional verb formula, and I love it wholeheartedly. It's on sale! Go and buy it! If you like this kind of thing. Don't buy it if you don't like this kind of thing.
How much you knocked off for, do you know?
Ooh,
Like $10, isn't it? It's not expensive.
Hang on. Let me look really quick.
But who's going to find it first?
It's 75% off. You can currently buy it for £1.74.
Alright.
No excuse.
Seriously, you can buy it for £1.74. It's wonderful. If it doesn't fuck with your emotions endlessly, I will be surprised. We had the devs in when we streamed it when it came out like a year and a half ago, and I genuinely cried and shouted at the developers for making me cry. Because it's wonderful and it's heartwarming, but it's also gut-wrenching as hell. So yeah, £1.74. Yeah. Go buy that. It's wonderful. Yes.
Do this.
Do this thing. Shall we talk really quickly about the Steam sale while I have you guys?
Well, since we're already on the subject.
Yeah, might as well.
So it saves me making a terrible segue. You've stolen my thunder yet again, Pip. I'm most upset. So what? It's less a case of just talking about, oh, have you picked up anything nice and shiny? Although we'll touch on that as well. But it's more, are they still a thing that is good? And do they actually do much for the industry? Is there actually any point to them anymore? Because I don't know about you guys, but like I found over the past 3 years or so, they've been kind of lackluster. It's like, I here have 2% off. And it's not really inspired me to go and pick up a game that I wouldn't normally try. Whereas in like years before then, there was a lot of stuff that was discounted down that I was like, you know what, for a $5, I'll give it a try.
I don't know, man. I mean, like this Steam sale that we currently got here. I mean, I'm only going to talk in terms of horror because it's the only thing I ever buy anyway.
Right.
But in terms of this, you got 70% off Soma, you got 50% off Doom, 34% off Prey, which is really early release.
Super quick, yeah.
You know, Dying Light continues to be in the Steam sale because no one wants it. BioShock Collection's like a $5 at this stage, you know.
Yeah.
You
can buy the original Dishonored, not the definitive edition. You can buy the original Dishonored for like £2 right now.
Oh yeah, you know, there's a whole host of Outlast is £2.
But
you know, if you've never played Outlast,
game, so don't
set off.
What bothers me a bit is I don't often play games anymore, but I used to buy a lot of games that I already have so that I could, you know, do giveaways for people who would be watching the stream, and then you can play it too. Go play it. And now that they changed the gifting, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not bothered.
Alien Isolation is £7.50.
That's why.
Oh yeah, so the gifting thing, it's you can't send it to someone's.
You can't do emails anymore. You have to do Steam friend ping. It's fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah. Do you still get to keep it in your inventory though? Like
if it's in your inventory anywhere, I don't know if you can store them.
I thought they were getting rid of the inventory. So like if I were to buy something,
you can do that. No,
you have to send it straight away. Is the thing.
There's no medium to do that anymore, which is slightly a pain in the ass.
That's what
you can't just you can't just email them out. You have to be Steam friends with people. which Steam.
Yeah, the email thing really knocks me off.
Yes,
Actually,
Steam Friends is irritating. I don't want you to know what I'm playing. I don't want you to know when I'm online. I
don't care about that. I just don't like the fucking having to kick somebody from my Steam Friends list so I can add somebody on fucking stream so I can send them the stupid thing.
This is the problem with me though, is that I'm super antisocial. And if I'm playing games for me, I kind of don't want people bugging me every 5 minutes, being like, "Hey, you streaming that? Hey, when are you gonna play that on stream? Oh, no. Just leave me alone. I want to play video games quietly. Don't.
The strain is 79 pence.
Oh, really?
I'm like, whatever horror games you're recommending, I'm like, yep.
All right. The remaster's $7.99.
We're gonna have like a post podcast thing of just Adam writing Tasha's shopping list, basically.
I love
Her
horror
story
games.
is £1.64.
That's well worth.
Oh, I think that's the
Video one.
It's the video. It's the
yeah, I
FMV.
remember looking at that.
That was really cool. I like that.
Yeah,
The
it's
store-
it's
stupid
clever.
store.
The best way to play it is to play half of it and then get a whiteboard and work out what the other half of the game is going to be, and then play the second half of the game. Genuinely. Especially if the second half of the game falls at like 2 a.m. So at 2 a.m, stop playing, grab your whiteboard and your tinfoil hat, work out what's going on, and then play the second half of it. Best way to play that game, wholeheartedly.
You just need one of those boards with like the photos and the bits of string and.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got a big enough wall, so
Yeah. It's
worth. It's about the only way you'll be able to kind of keep track of what's happening and who, what, when, where's, and how's. Like this.
Well, it's not. I imagine you have a good memory, but as I say,
I've got a terrible memory.
When I played it on stream, because me being the prepared individual that I am, I just had like a horde of notes written in my chat box for the stream. And I was just like, I don't have to open Notepad. They're all going to go in there.
Nightmares is £12. If you don't know that already, you disgust me.
Yeah. I nearly picked up a PlayStation actually because it was so cheap.
Seriously, Little Nightmares is wonderfully done. It's genuinely not only a feast for the eyes, but it's great. You guys need to own that. It is Oh, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons is £1.09, and if it doesn't make you cry, if it doesn't make you cry, you are a heartless bastard.
Fran Bo's a $5.
Yeah, Fran Bo is wonderful.
Amnesia: The Dark Descent is £2, and if you've not played it, you're just a piece of shit, and you need to take that on board.
Jesus Christ!
What game? I missed
that. I don't want your
£2
anymore. It's too late for you.
Amnesia: The Dark Descent is like the second best horror game ever made.
Oh, hang on, wait, is that the first one? No, that's the first one. That was
fine.
First one. It was Machine for Pigs, where I'm like...
Machine for Pigs is like the 7700th horror game ever made.
I got really bored. And
that's because Machine for Pigs is boring.
Like, I shouldn't be bored in a horror game. That's dumb. The Witcher 3 is on sale. If you haven't played The Witcher 3, go. I haven't put the video in for this week, but I always manage to mention The Witcher 3 somewhere.
I was going to say, it's about time you brought it up.
Nier Automata is on sale.
What? You're playing The Witcher 3?
I need to give him another try. I got mad at him for being a prat.
Ori and the Blind Forest is on sale for less than £8. Go buy that. If you like platformers, that is wonderful and sad. I like these wonderful and sad.
There's a whole host of games that are worth picking up if you have not played them. In the Steam sale.
Yeah, Dead Cells is on sale. Again, that's still in beta, but it's 15% off. If you like roguelikes, it's a wonderful example of a roguelike. It really, really is. There's so much on sale. This is actually the best sale that I've seen in a long time. And while I don't like the fact that they got rid of flash sales and daily deals, while I don't like that, there is a lot in this sale that is worth picking up. Things like Subnautica. Subnautica is definitely worth picking
If only Subnautica would actually get released after 17 years. That would be wonderful.
It's not been that long.
No, good point. I'll take away the hyperbole. 2.25 years.
Yeah, there you go.
So like, what is it? Is it a beta or alpha? I can't even remember.
Beta.
But like for the quality of it is so good.
Oh sure,
the
but
balance
it's still
is a bit
not
off
released.
Still. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, you go near the mushroom forest and you just see you later frames.
Yep.
But
the forest is on sale, and that's good fun if you've got somebody to play it with. If you're not a fan of the horror aspect, I think you can turn that off still. Wolfenstein is on sale, which is great. Domina is on sale for less than £4. If you run a Twitch stream ever, go buy that.
And get fucked over by your chat repeatedly.
Endlessly, because they're all shit.
Vanishing of Ethan Carter's £2.
Which is good, except for the astronaut thing.
Sure.
I enjoyed that, though.
Yeah, no, there's
Resi 7 is 40% off, £23.
Oh, damn, that's a really good price for that, actually.
Is it?
No, Resi 7 is good.
I was
Resi
put off
7's
because
great.
lots of people said it's like X amount of like length content. And I'm like, considering I don't play games very often, I want like loads of hours gameplay.
Resi 7 has these kind of like pockets of gameplay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really well constructed in that you start a phase and then you end the phase and you kind of like recoup and then you start a phase and then you end a phase. So if you don't play games for very long, very often, you'll find that you can still pick it up and put it down by playing those phases. There's enough content in it. It's scary. It's tense.
Resident Evil 7's about 20 hours long.
Yeah, every
If you're-
time,
if you're rubbish.
every time
Like
you see
7.
a wheelchair, your heart's gonna just.
I finished it on on blind in 12 hours.
There's enough there. And if you like, depending on what kind of game you are, you might even want to go back and look at things again. Oh shit, okay, best deal ever. If you haven't played Transistor, you like top-down games, you like good soundtracks, you like aesthetics, go and look at Transistor and buy it. It's less than, it's £2.24. Transistor is a magical game. Absolutely magical game, and it broke my heart. I literally ripped my heart out of my chest and stamped on it repeatedly. It's wonderful.
Oh, I have this.
What, Transistor?
Yeah.
Play it. Listen to the soundtrack. Fall in love with it. Play it. It's just...
The first tag is great soundtrack.
Yeah.
Female protagonist.
Yep. She's a singer, and they've taken her voice.
Transistor's Bastion's next game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I've got a
But
double
it doesn't
vinyl
have
album
Build the
in there.
Walls, so fuck Transistor.
but it has. That's
No, it doesn't have the song Build That Wall.
No, it doesn't.
Take it,
No, it
Transistor.
doesn't.
Take it in the
has
face.
better ones.
Oh, fuck you, does it?
Yes,
It's
it
got
does.
much worse stuff.
It doesn't. Oh my god. Right. Anyway.
Better than Build That Wall. Fuck you.
We need
That's
to
not
actually make a
happening.
list so that I can look through after. Because I'm
Maybe
just sat
we
here
can
like, yep.
Yeah, this is the thing at the moment. I'm just looking through, being like, oh, so and so is in here. Oh, so and so is in here. Like,
Also, surprisingly, Near Automata, as it's actually known.
yes, Near Tomato is on sale.
30% off.
Yeah, Near Tomato,
Like,
I hear is
pretty
well worth
recent.
buying. I want to pick that up.
That's pretty, and also the Steam Link, like the little kind of the box that you can kind of stream stuff to into another room. 12 quid.
Yep, I have one. We get loads of use out of it. 12
I
quid
have
is a
this,
steal.
so
It's just, I mean, you know, like some of us are probably just, I'm going to sit right here and do my gaming, but like for 12 quid for a box that you can just stream it to wherever you want, that's pretty good.
Yep. I've got a gigantic TV downstairs, so we stream games to the gigantic TV downstairs, because then I can lie across the sofa and put a controller on my nose and play. It's wonderful. Absolutely fucking wonderful.
That's how I play games as well.
Yeah. I think you should stream all games like that, to be honest. Get to it.
Fuck's sake. If you have friends, Gang Beasts is on sale.
The game's fun.
friends.
But if you have friends, Isaac is on sale, but don't buy Isaac if you want a life ever.
Nah.
Because
There's
we're
a huge quantity of different
Both
games available right now.
massively.
New and old.
Yep, massively. This is the best sale that we've had for ages, and it's well worth picking stuff up.
Now, do you think that this is the best game that we've had in ages because it's the best sale that we've had in ages, or is it because we've had a slew of games that are actually worth picking up when they're on sale? Because I think part of the problem before, over the past, say, like 2-3 years or so, is there have been quite a few big heavy hitters, and there's been a few that are kind of a must buy on release, but there wasn't much of that sort of middle ground of like, maybe that I might pick up when it goes on sale.
I mean, an awful lot of the games that we've mentioned were in the last Steam sale as well.
Yeah.
We're just highlighting things that were there before. So, like, the little nightmares of the world, they've come out recently, obviously, and that makes it worth picking up.
Yeah.
So things like Transistor, Bastion, they were 12 pence last time as well. And it's still amazing that everybody in the world doesn't own them. Because
they should.
you might just fucking give it to me. I might know. I've still got fucking Transistor and Bastion sitting in my Steam library. I haven't played them yet. But I own them because I will one day, you know?
Yeah.
I get the
And
same way.
It's that kind of logic that for fucking $1, all right, I'll have that. Fantastic. I'll just listen to the soundtrack. I don't need to do anything else.
Like, honestly, I think with the inclusion of things like Nier Automata, with the inclusion of things like Subnautica and stuff like that, it's a decent sale because the quality of the titles are good.
It is up.
But also the prices are decent this time round.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants to buy the original Dishonored for 12 quid, you know? But for 2...
No one wants to buy Call of Duty 4 for 30.
Any Call of Duty.
Oh, Tash.
Or so.
If I have to hear a stupid voice, can I throw a phone?
All right, okay. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, I need to pee.
So every episode that we do is a 6 out of 10 for a reason or another, and that becomes the title of the podcast everywhere we put it. So I've dropped my envelope. I always put in my title first, and I'm totally stealing the title that was put in chat. And this episode was 6 out of 10. Shame, regret, and motion sickness.
I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that I think we'd have trouble uploading it on multiple services, I think it probably should be called 6 out of 10 Too Many Cunts. But I think it might have a few problems getting past like iTunes.
6 out of 10 Pip has a penis.
I'm kind of okay with this.
6 out of 10 Tourette's.
Oh gosh. 6 out of 10 pandering to morons.
6 out of 10 pandering to morons, I like, yeah.
We did have a hefty discussion around that.
Yeah.
6 out of 10 downrated.
6 out of 10 capitalism is capitalism.
Capitalism ho.
Oh god.
I think shame, regret, and motion sickness.
Yep.
Especially the shame part, I think probably sums up.
Yeah.
What we've been running through.
Yeah, most definitely.
And then regret for Pip agreeing to have Adam on. Right, that's
Sure.
No, genuinely. So as much as we banter, like, I genuinely adore Adam's content. I love what he does. He's a wonderful, wonderful human being. But if he steals
I don't
Matt,
insult people I don't like.
right?
I just ignore them.
If he steals Matt, that might change.
That's already happening. You don't even know.
Oh, dude,
That's on.
every time
That
I
shit is
mention PAX,
on.
he's like, Adam says he'll take me to PAX, and I'm like,
I will fucking take him to PAX. I will pay for. He's mine now. He's my wife now.
oh god. Oh,
although
god.
6 out of 10 mixed reviews.
Mixed reviews.
6 out of 10 mixed reviews. It's too clever. No, 6 out of 10 shame, regret, and motion sickness, because I feel like we derailed so much in this podcast. It's gone on far too long, but I do love you guys so much, and I adore the content you guys put out. Do me a favor, Tash, tell me where people can find you and what you're up to this week and that kind of deal.
Hi. You can find me on twitch.tv/Tashna. It's Natasha like a pirate because I'm an adult. And we do a lot of
Good job.
Reasoning, please.
I believe pirates were called Natasha.
Yes. Tashnar. This is
Of the three ones that were girls.
This is the shame. Here you go. I'm
Right.
providing the shame.
Sweet.
Do loads of creative content, really interactive, and I think I'm pretty funny, but
I'm
find
inclined to
out.
agree after our exposure.
For sure. All right. Adam, tell us where people can find you and what you're doing this week and all that kind of deal.
I wonder what Adam's doing.
TV, Call of Cthulhu. I'll be going from here to do my 2-year partnerversary. I gave up time in that to be here with you.
Mine's next week too.
Nah, it's not that much.
Well, wouldn't you?
But no, I'll be going to do that. It's going to be some more Darkest Dungeon today. Eventually, I'll play Silent Hill 2 as the best horror game of all time if I finally finish Crimson Court. What's the little face?
I agree. Yes, Silent Hill 2. Best horror game.
Best horror game of all time.
Yes.
I don't need to defend this, but I will if you come at me.
Oh.
Not you.
Nobody's going to come at you. Everybody
I forgot to
agrees.
say what I was doing.
Oh, that's okay. We'll tell you now.
Come back to it.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Go.
It's also my 1-year partnerversary this
Happy
week, and we're
anniversary.
doing a science fair because I've never made a papier-mâché volcano. So
That'll be because you're not American.
What day
Yeah, but I want to do it, so I need to get on it. I need to make a shopping list so viewers can also play along, and then they have to send me pictures, and then I'll be the winner.
Peter.
Amazing.
Wait, what day is this? I'm tuning in.
I've been a bit disorganized because I care for my brother-in-law, and I have him and the children next weekend, so I have to like. We're not decided. Thursday.
Yeah.
Let's say Thursday, which is the 29th. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull my finger out.
I want to watch you do a Blue Peter episode.
I am so excited.
Is Blue Peter still a thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy
Is
shit!
it?
Really?
Yeah.
Sticky back plastic, yogurt pots, and toilet roll holders in there.
I might make a badge.
Off.
Make a rip-off
Oh
badge.
god.
I'm sorry.
God.
Okay.
You guys are
What are
wonderful.
you playing, Philippa?
Well, so this week we have poll mornings because I have a poll challenge to do and I don't want to do it on my own.
Please call it poll mornings. I am so coming. I am going to get banned so fucking fast.
This is. I'm
going to go and ban him in your chat in advance. So I'll be a minute.
No, fucking bring it. Fucking bring it.
Call it spinning on the pole. Make it better.
Like, the
You
girl
don't
that I
wanna
know who does poll streams puts up the title "Training to be a Fireman," and I'm like, no, this is poll mornings, and it's gonna be great. So we're doing poll mornings. It's gonna be magical because I have a poll challenge to do this week, and I don't know how to do half the moves, so I'm gonna follow my head a lot. We're gonna play little bits of The Witcher 3, but mostly we're gonna be looking at stuff in the Steam sales and building space bases and doing all sorts of bits and pieces because I'm bored of playing the same thing over and 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 over. So we're just gonna play loads of random shit like we used to, and it's gonna be magical. It's gonna be absolutely magical. You can find
Can
me.
you tell us more about this poll challenge?
Oh yeah, okay. So over the last 4 days, there's been a poll challenge going on. It goes on for 10 days. The idea is that they give you a letter and a move every morning. And your challenge for that day is to put a picture or a video of that move on Instagram. And they range from things like doing a spin on one hand, doing like, I don't know, you guys see me do like leg hangs a lot where I hang, I hook one knee over and I just like let go of my body. And I just kind of hang in midair off of one leg. So they range from stuff like that I'm really comfortable with to hold the pole with a split grip like that, be upside down, just holding on by your toes, go.
Your actual toes.
Yeah, like your actual
There
toes.
might be
Who's
an
got
ice
ice
cream
cream?
van outside.
Gimme!
You gonna share?
But yeah,
I already
Football
ate my sex.
so
Ice cream.
every day we're going to work towards, every day we're going to do strength building, we're going to do core building, we're going to do muscle building, we're going to do a little bit of balance. This week is going to be all about thigh strength, but as well as that, we're going to do little bits of this pole challenge where I'm like, we have to do X move this, today at some point. Yeah. Let's give that a go. So yeah, it should be really good. And it'll show you guys a range of stuff that pole fitness addicts have to put up with. Like, yeah, I have shooting pains in my wrist, but I'm still upside down. Rip me. Like, it should be good fun. It should be good fun. I'll fall on my head a lot.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. I'm down for volcanoes, Lovecraftian horror, and you twizzling around on a pole. Like, that is my week.
Combine this.
Name of the porn movie.
Oh, good grief. Oh, good grief. Sam, what are you doing this week now that you're back from E3?
Screaming about how tired I am and not committing to anything because no.
Neat.
So, like, probably some Stormblood because that's out now and it's a thing that I'm going to be playing anyway, so I might as well stream it. And I've got to finish putting up a load of E3 content-y stuff, so you'll see a lot of that from, like, the Senshudo social media stuff. And I don't know, I might start dicking around with a couple of games that I saw at E3, which is Tower 57 and Moonlighter, which I got some cheeky codes for to play around on. But yeah, I'm not committing to doing anything at any point in time.
Don't give your codes to your viewers. Give them to Pip.
No,
have you not got it yet?
No, yeah, it hasn't arrived
We
yet.
don't hook you up.
Yeah. I got you.
But,
Moonlighter is going to be great. I'm excited for Moonlighter. But yeah.
Jimmy really naively suggests a Rock Band stream. No, that requires effort and energy, which I do not have, and I probably won't for another 2 weeks. So sweet, but no. But yeah, just
being tired.
I'm going to be seriously tired. So yes.
Perfect.
And ice cream.
An ice cream. I think we should all go for an ice cream. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Much appreciated, much appreciated. You guys are absolutely wonderful. Guys, make sure you follow up these wonderful, wonderful human beings. And Adam, I guess. I love you guys so much.
And fuck you too.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm gonna head us on out. But make sure you guys have a great day. And we'll see you guys next week from 5 o'clock. Follow these people! Look at them! Look at them.
I'm
Follow
going to
these
put
people.
them in the chat.
Good. Catch you guys!